share your thoughts. Help us break down this mystery. Grab a seat, we guarantee you're in wonderful company, unraveling these mysteries with Mr. and Mrs. E. Unraveling these mysteries with Mr. and Mrs. E.
Welcome into the Mr. E Crimecast, everyone. I am Mr. E. I am joined by Mrs. E and our guest today, Auntie. Welcome in all. How are you doing, Auntie?
Good.
No luck finding the other glasses
No.
you were hunting for? No?
They're brand new, too. I don't know what I've done with them. I've laid them around somewhere.
I know. I do that. I do that all the time.
Ugh.
Well, I appreciate everybody being here. We're like a flash sale. You just don't know when we're going live. We don't either a lot of times. I think we posted with like 5 minutes notice or something like that.
Well, we were trying to do it earlier, but we got caught up with work. So
yeah, I know. We this has been a crazy busy week for us, and we had intended to do a follow up to the rest of this this filing on Sunday. That didn't work out for us. We just had something come up with our son. And
well, you could tell the truth. He was really upset over the Minecraft live stream.
Yeah, if you have any kids that are into Minecraft, they do an annual, or historically they will do a live stream once a year where they announce the upcoming update and whatever new animal they're introducing. So my oldest son with autism, it gets crazy excited about it. Cannot wait. Is constantly asking us what day that live stream is going to happen. And then last year they started going to doing it twice a year, which has completely messed him up. It is just it's not predictable anymore, and they don't do the animal thing like they used to, and they don't do it. They used to do it more in the summer, and then the update would happen in the fall, and now that's just all.
It just
now they do
messed him
small
up.
updates, and so his weekend was really difficult, and so we knew there was absolutely no way that after that live stream happened on Saturday, that we were thinking Sunday, we knew there was no way we were doing like a 3-hour live stream without.
No, he was really upset.
Yeah, it was real tough. He's doing better now, though,
and he requires a lot of mom and dad time, but this was over the top.
Yes,
so
he was.
Auntie knows. He
was with one of us all day Sunday, so he just has to be reassured that things are. It's hard to explain, but schedules and that kind of thing, when they predictable schedules change for him, it's very difficult.
Oh, Sense of Soul says my son, who's 21 on the spectrum, does the very same thing with Marvel trailers. So yeah, you feel our pain. I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that do. So
our son always wants to know what new movies are coming out the following year, what the dates are for the movies. Even if we're not seeing them, he just wants to know they're happening or something.
Right.
He's worried that one day there will just be no more movies, that they'll just stop. So he's always asking, are new movies coming? You know what I mean?
The C-19 really messed him up on things, because things went away that were reliable, like Disney. Things that never closed, And then just tore him to pieces.
Then the rest of the week, just for us work-wise, has just been kind of insane. So we've got a little time here.
Yes, I saw Seth in here.
The rest of this.
Hi, Seth.
Oh, hi, Seth. Good to see you in.
Do you want to say hi to some people before you jump right into business?
Well, I do actually, and I want to say I hope we're catching some of our European and Australian friends. That we usually miss, because we always get the comment, "Oh, I wish you guys wouldn't go at 2 a.m. for us."
Yeah, Appy's in here.
Daytime.
Hi, Appy.
Appy, you'll have a good night's sleep, hopefully, without us messing that up for you. Yeah, so we appreciate everybody being here. Hope we're catching some folks at a more convenient hour than maybe usual. So let's say hello to, of course, our mods that are here. Hey, Jude, Castle, don't kind of scrolling through. Thanks for hopping on here last second. There's a ton of folks here already. Wow, there's already for no notice. That's amazing. Thank you so much for being here,
guys.
Bliss.
We've already got a super sticker.
Let
me see if I can find it.
You're loud.
Oh, I'm sorry. You want me to turn my mic down?
No, I mean when you know.
We have a super sticker from Mema of 5. Thank you, Mema. And we have a new member. We have Life in the Red Kim.
Oh, I think that if I remember correctly, that is the person that is the attorney, she has her doctorate.
Oh, okay.
You really like her. You really like her.
This is the lady I've heard on Brittany's before.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great. Well, welcome in. I didn't know your username, but yeah, very interesting observation she's had on some of Brittany's lives in the past, and so welcome in, and thank you for becoming a member.
Yeah, she's very intelligent.
Yeah, so it's
she knows her stuff.
Yeah, it's been interesting to hear her perspective on it. Kiki, thank you so much. We appreciate that.
That's so sweet.
Glad you could catch us on a live here last minute like this. And
we got a couple super stickers. You know how much I love those.
And Tiffany gifted a membership.
Tiffany. We love Tiffany.
Yes.
She's the best.
We really appreciate. Thank you for the gifted membership there.
We got to give her some respect for that TikTok stuff. Our last TikTok got 24 views. We got to give her some respect.
Oh, well, like how tough TikTok is?
Oh, yeah. I don't even understand it.
Yeah.
It's, we tried to do a little bit. We're not good at it. So.
And I saw all I want for, she's got such a long username. All I want is Jesus Coffee, True Crime.
Mm-hmm.
Her child has a birthday tomorrow. So happy birthday to her child. I can't remember if she said daughter. It was really early in the chat. I've lost it now.
Okay,
but
so here's your super stickers. Memo of 3 sent us a $3 super sticker of a super. I can't speak. A super sticker that was very sweet. It's a hippo dancing, and it's awesome. And then
Granny is saying it's time for you to go get little E.
I have tell my mother that I have 2 minutes. So
she has 2 minutes.
I will do it.
If we're not at the back of the line, little Lee will be confused anyway.
Yeah.
And
then Holly S sent us a kitty cat. And Pamela Hale has been a member for 4 months. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Oh,
and then she gifted 5 memberships. Oh my goodness.
Well, thank you, Pamela.
That's so sweet.
So sweet of you. Thank you so much.
And if you received a gifted membership from Pamela, please tell her thank you. That's very sweet. And Hey Jude has been a member for 4 months, but thank you for being a member for 4 months. She said, love my E family. Well, we love you too. And I love your name because the Beatles are my fave.
Yes. Pebbles is here, also one of our moms. Thank you so much for that.
And Angel of Light sent us a $5 super sticker. Thank you guys so much. I think they want to hear the super sticker song. I think that's what's going on.
It's kind of like a vote for which song they want.
Exactly.
Way, right?
And then Cognizance and Crime became the newest member of the Dog Pound. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you. And she's a huge TikToker, right? And she was kind enough to go ahead and follow us on TikTok.
Well, thank you very much.
I think we had like one member, one person following us, and that was Nick the Hat.
We did. We hadn't done anything.
We hadn't done anything. And a random on the dime who we met at the vigil says, my oldest turned 13 yesterday. Well, happy birthday to your oldest. I think, was that the one that was talking about the presidents?
It's got to be one of her older children.
Yes.
I don't know if it was her oldest or not.
Well, thank you guys so much.
I would guess so. Yeah.
I'm overwhelmed by your sweetness. We appreciate you.
Oh, she says yes. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I've never seen a kid who knows their presidents any better.
He did it in descending order. He did it 47 down instead of 1 to 47.
Oh, wow. That's even harder.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Did you get the Angel of Light super sticker?
You guys are just so sweet. I can't keep up with it. Angel of Light. Yes, it was a $5 super sticker with some lemons with heart eyes. But thank you so much, Angel of Light.
And here's another one.
You don't know that lemons are my favorite. I used to eat a bag of lemons every time I was pregnant, like probably a week, right? Bag of lemons a week.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I love lemons. Took off all the um, what do you always
Enamel.
say? Yes, Aunt E always says it took off all my enamel. And Lisa B always, oh, she's changed her name back. I'll be listening in the car, picking up the grands. Well, I actually have to leave to go get the kids here in a second. So Aunt E and Mr. E will be taking over.
Sure. She's a lemon
then-
fanatic.
I am. Thank you so much. You guys are the best.
Have you ever told how you do your beer when you have a beer?
No, you can tell them. I don't care.
She had a boss years ago that said put lemon in your beer. And
No, that's not
I've
how
got
that
this wrong?
happened.
Have you ever tried? Didn't he say have you ever tried?
No,
lemon in your
I
beer?
was at a party and he saw me drinking my drink and he asked me what it was because I had a beverage with ice.
Yeah.
I had a beer with ice and lemon in it where I
Right,
squeezed a lot of lemon in it. He said, what drink is that? And I said, well, it's beer on ice with lemon.
Okay, I'm getting the story wrong.
And it turns out he had the same drink. Like that was his
That's
favorite thing
weird.
to do too,
Oh.
which you just don't hear about, right?
Ugh.
It's a very abnormal thing. People look at me very strangely when I
Oh
order
my
that.
gosh, when we don't really drink hardly ever anymore, but when we'd be out and ordering a cocktail at the bar for her, and I was like, yeah, if I could have a beer with ice
And lemons. Don't forget
bartender-
lemons.
the looks you'd get from bartenders and everything, and
They
a
hate
pile of
me.
lemons, and it's like it's what it is.
They
you know?
hate me. It's okay.
But
though.
it probably kept you hydrated while you had cocktails too, though. There was probably some benefit to it.
Maybe.
Because I had a friend in the old days that his thing was every time he had a cocktail, he had a full glass of water with it, and he was like, if you do that, you never get a hangover. That was his trick. So
We got a big.
Oh my
super secret.
gosh. Abby
Wow.
girl.
Thank
You're
you,
so
Abby
sweet.
girl.
Let me look at it. I gotta go look at it now. And then I have to leave.
Well, yeah.
Oh, look, it's another lemon. It's a lemon with a heart. Oh, thank you, Abby girl. It's so nice to see you.
Okay, so I guess the lemon thing may not be as uncommon
Well, it
as
doesn't
I
matter.
thought. Several people are talking about putting lemons in beer, and
They
of
say
course,
it's a
they put lime and
It's
Coronas.
a Hispanic people also use a lot of lemon in their beer.
Yeah.
I didn't know
I thought
that.
I thought that was lime.
Well, both is what they're saying.
Well, I'm just
in
wrong.
the chat.
I'm
Weird.
just wrong.
And
Yeah.
Seth says he likes oranges in his. And I have
Ooh,
with
I've done
Blue
that.
Moon. I've heard of that.
Yeah. Well, the Blue Moon, there's a Blue Moon here or there used to be at least. There used to be a brewery here. So Blue Moon got pushed hard for
Yes.
years at bars, and so they would do the oranges in that. And it was actually pretty good like that. So everybody's kind of throwing out their cocktail ideas with the citrus. So
I always tell people to just try it. It's very refreshing. And plus I always say that I have to have ice on anything. Anything I drink's got to be super cold, right?
oh yeah.
And
Happy
so-
girl, lemons give me heartburn too, so I can't have anything citrus or that acidity bothers me. So I hear you.
Ooh, see? Latinos drink beer on the bottle with salt on the rims and yes, lemon or lime. See, that's my dream world because I love salt too. So that's my dream. I am going to step away and let you guys get started.
Sure.
Did you have anything else you wanted to say before I go?
Yeah, I just want to say that we had a little thing happen yesterday with another YouTuber, Moon and Krama, and we had just a little bit of a misunderstanding, and we ended up we apologized for our part in that, and then she apologized this morning on one of her lives about it, and we just watched it like about an hour or so ago, and just wanted to say we very much, of course, accept and appreciate the apology. We meant nothing, no harm at all. There's no hard feelings from us. It was a very, from her, obviously a very sincere apology, and these kind of things happen sometimes. It's hard to know sometimes in a chat what's going on, like context, and misunderstandings can happen, and I've had it happen with me, so I completely understand where she was coming from, and I had it happen a couple of weeks ago where I was reading the chat, and I thought someone was taking a shot at us,
Mhm.
and I was missing that they were having a conversation in the chat, and I've had that happen a few times, or in comments later. It's hard to know what people really mean when it's
Mm.
the typed word and everything. And so, anyway, I just appreciate you, and there's no hard feelings from us at all. All water under the bridge as far as I'm concerned, and Mrs. E and Auntie are concerned. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but just wanted to address that and just say we appreciate you very much. And anyway, sorry for any misunderstandings or on our end. Well, we we just glad we could kind of work that all out and kind of go forward. Is
Yeah.
there anything you'd like to add, or did I
Well,
explain
Seth
that
wanted to
okay?
let us know that Sebastian's favorite drink is chocolate milk.
Yum.
Oh yeah,
Who
sure.
doesn't love that?
I used to love to do the homemade, like the Nestle Quick, with that was the way I would like to do those. But yeah, chocolate milk's great.
That Cheney's Dairy Barn in Bowling Green has the best chocolate milk I've ever had. They actually sell it in the groceries around that area. Oh, it's the best.
Well, maybe when you're here, we can go up there and get some.
I like
Because
it.
is that the one that Mom likes their chili?
Mm-hmm.
We should take her up there one day.
Yeah,
Auntie's
I love
coming
that.
to visit. Auntie and Granny are coming to visit. I'm very excited.
Yes.
Yeah, Kim G says my kids love the powder quick. That's what I liked, was the powdery stuff.
I
I
could
don't know
probably
why.
eat that
I
by the
loved it.
spoonful.
I love that stuff. I don't know what is that. So we have a super chat. What is that? The chat's moving so fast I can barely click on it. Justice for Alyssa says, I stand corrected. I did not think this would be approved. Glad it was. So the filing. Well, you're giving us a little segue if we want to get into that now.
Yes.
Are we ready to do that?
And thank you for your super chat, Justice for Alyssa.
And we'll do some videos in a little bit.
Yes, thank you so much. We do appreciate that.
Well, you guys are going to have to take over because these kids aren't going to pick themselves up.
You do have to go now.
I will talk to you guys soon.
Do not forget the buddy's phone.
I won't forget the buddy's phone,
charger.
but don't forget I have a conference call right as soon as I get back.
So why don't we remove you, and then we'll pull up the sheet.
I can do that.
Yeah, I can
Is
do
that
all.
okay?
Don't worry about that.
Okay.
I'll handle all that. Aunt E's got it.
Um,
Bye, guys. We'll see you in a little bit. Or I'll see you in a little bit.
All right. So there goes Mrs. E. And if you did not join us last time, I'm just going to kind of catch you up quickly on what happened. This does indirectly relate to the, or depending on how you look at it, really directly relates to the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. There has been this ongoing motions and litigations and various documents being filed in the state of Pennsylvania, requesting relief from the plaintiffs, which include everyone here: AtNight, Seth Rogers, Duane the Dog Bounty Hunter, Tony Mathis, Bullhorn Betty, Brittany J, Chase and Crime, Hong, Jules the Dog Handler, and Nick the Hat. I do try to use everyone's YouTube handle if I know them, instead of using their names. And we, of course, try to avoid any personal information, which I don't think there's any revealed in here, like addresses and stuff like that. So I think we're okay with that. But the plaintiffs this is against are Granny's Watching and Barbecue Lady, and then SF Investigates. And then it also says Does 1 through 14. It's a little unclear to me who they are from our last reading. But so we read these. I don't even know what day it was, Auntie. Was it Friday that this happened? Was it Saturday? I'm not sure what day we read this.
Gosh, I can't even remember. I'll look real quick and tell you when it was. It was, hang on. I'll look at our videos. 5 days ago. It just says 5 days ago.
Okay, so probably Friday. I think it might have been a weekday. Yeah, it was. Because they everybody was saying, oh, they were doing it at the end of the week. So nobody could do anything.
Right. It was like Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, because like Friday is often a day you do things if you don't want them in the news cycle. So some people thought that might have been strategy, but I don't know. So anyway, they did that filing that was enormous, and then they did a new. It's a new I guess edited filing. Some of this is different. So and it got approved by the courts. So they did not reject the motion. That doesn't mean that all of this goes into effect, what's being requested. What it means is that eventually there will be a hearing. It seems like Hong believes that will be like a week or two, something like that. It could be, it could be 2 weeks from now. It might be a couple of days from now. It's hard to say. That'll probably just be up to the courts. Want to say thank you, True Crime with Sweet Melissa, for the super chat. Also, we appreciate you very much. And
I missed that one.
Oh yeah, I saw it pop up there. So I'm just kind of checking the chat to see if I've missed anything. Anything going on the chat comment wise that we want to highlight?
I don't think so.
Any questions? I think everybody kind of understands where we're at with this. So
so everything we read before this has been revised. Is that correct?
Yes. So like last time we stopped at page 72, and that was at exhibit around 221. If you take I was comparing the two, and so this actually starts us at 195. So it looks like what we read, they might have pulled about 23 or 24 exhibits or condensed them. It's the same from what I've been trying to compare and try to find what's different. There were some typos and things like that. It looks like, I don't know if all of that's been cleaned up because I haven't read all this yet. But some of the ones I noticed are fixed. So it looks like they kind of did a little editing and cleaned some of the errors that were in there prior. Yeah, so we made it I guess we're almost halfway through. So we were going to finish that here. And the couple of thoughts I had before we kind of get into it. One thing that did not occur to me when we were reading it was that, for the most part, most of these new exhibits that are here are after that initial injunction request. Like this is a lot of this is December and January, and it's kind of going almost day by day, which I assume is going to remain the pattern for the rest of it. So what that looks like to me is I just kind of think, if I'm a judge, how am I looking at this? And we're going to kind of get in the weeds a little bit on the different exhibits and the allegations, the different things that were claimed to have been said, and whether or not we think it merits protection and all of that they're requesting. But if you look kind of the big picture and step back in, I guess, November it was when this was initially filed, what the plaintiffs were requesting was initially just a cease and desist. So they sent those letters out. That was ignored or rejected, basically. So then they did, the preliminary injunction, and that's kind of been ongoing for a while, but it was filed, and the request was things like agree to not harass the plaintiffs, pull down videos that, harass these people, future agreements to not harass these people, but you could still cover the Sebastian Rogers disappearance, those types of things. There were like 9 or 10 requests that they were making. Okay, so you've got that 3-4 months ago, that preliminary injunction request put in. So if you're the judge and you look at it stepping back, you've got the plaintiffs saying, here's my cease and desist, please stop doing this, rejected. Here's my preliminary injunction, please stop doing these things. And then you have now new, separate from the other evidence that they had submitted in their first request, that's still being decided on, currently being decided on, that was heard a month ago. You have new exhibits, from December and January. So it's like, if the judge takes all of this seriously and looks at the evidence and believes this to be accurate, it's going to look like they're kind of proving the case for the plaintiffs by not, instead of backing off, they continue with another, hundreds of exhibits worth of the types of things they're asking relief from. Right.
Well, Little Red had a question. A little red zero said, "Can I ask a question? Others are saying the judge is on vacation, so only thing happened was accepted to court's office. So confused."
Yeah, it got it's just been accepted. So they'll have an emergency hearing at some point, but the date has not been determined. Um, I don't know about judges being on vacation. There's been so many things that are just said that just turn out to not be true at all. I would take that with a grain of salt, unless you can verify it. So I don't know where that came from, but yeah, um, I mean, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot of things that have been said. So whatever we can verify, I would run with.
Mm-hmm.
And so otherwise, the other big event kind of involving all this. So all this comes out, and we get about halfway through or so, and then over the next several days, there were a lot of reactions. Some people kind of a lot of reactions to all of it. Most interestingly is that the Proudfoot's investigator just kind of disappeared from social media, shut down his X account, which has, I think it was 36,000 followers or something like that, on like a really
Yeah,
big,
a
really
lot.
big number for X, right? And has completely shut it down. And even just a day or so earlier was buying the domain name for the attorney, was going to like mock him that way. I mean, it was really still kind of putting up this big fight, and then just like a turn out of nowhere. And I know there's a lot of theories as to why that happened. I can think of maybe a half dozen or more different possibilities, and there's probably more than that. I really have no idea why that occurred. But it's very interesting because there's a couple of maybe you can think of something else, Auntie, but in my mind, there's kind of two possibilities with that. I think the most likely is it's fear of some kind. I don't know of what, but fear. Like usually when people shut down things and close up shop on
Fear of legal action, a fear of something.
Yeah, fear of something. I don't know what, but some kind of fear. So you don't just shut down an account that big that he's been working on for years without there being a pretty good reason. The only other motive type, I mean, that's not even a motive. That's more an emotion behind it. Would be unless it's just some kind of publicity stunt, and in a week he's going to be back and whatever, just to get some attention. I don't know what other possibilities there are, but I would kind of guess some form of fear. But anyway, that sent some shockwaves through everything, because now these these people are in a position on the defendant's side where they kind of have these allies, not because they're allies necessarily, just because they're all in a similar position. And he was sort of a guiding voice for that group. He was the one suggesting that they were going to go and countersue and win, and all this was going to be done on arrival. This would never be accepted. And he's been kind of saying that this was all a joke and this would all get tossed. And now here we are, he's gone, and this has been accepted today, at least to be heard. So I don't know what's happening there, but it's got to make everyone on the defense side feel a little uneasy.
And we have some questions in chat that are they're kind of confused.
And
if they're asking to clarify if the judge signed off or if it was just accepted by the courts. They're confused as to what the difference is and what has happened so far. So if you could just clarify that again before we start.
My understanding is that they've just accepted that this is going to be heard and that the hearing should happen pretty quickly. But that there's not a date set.
So no judge has signed off on anything yet. It was just accepted by the court.
That's my understanding. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know that a judge had to specifically sign off on it, but I could be mistaken on that. Yeah, I'm not sure, but that it's, yeah, some people are saying in the chat that it's by the court.
Yeah, we had a few people that were just confused as to what that meant when it was going to proceed.
Okay, so Holly-S is saying Barbecue Lady supposedly left X also.
I haven't heard that. I will check.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, that'd be great. Yeah, I've been so busy. I've been kind of out of the loop on social media for the most part today. But I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead here to where we left off.
Do you know what her Twitter handle was? Because it's not coming up.
I don't know offhand.
I did have
I
it.
don't follow her.
I don't either, and that's. Let me check a couple places. I might be able to find
Okay.
it.
So as we go on with this too, this is a hard line for us to do. Is to, although we are talking about creators, our general approach is to try to, if we are going to talk about creators, to not insult them, and that kind of thing, not to be disparaging toward anyone, if either neutral or say nice things. That's kind of what we try to do as best we can. This does make it a little difficult because I know there's an obvious plaintiff versus defendant. People have the sides they support. But we're going to try to just stay to the factual elements of it as much as possible, even if we have opinions. If you would try to help me out and not, and it, if we could avoid the personal attacks and things like that in the chat, and we just want to kind of stay drama free as much as possible. It's just difficult because at this point there's really an allegation that this is all kind of intertwined, and another big thing that happened is we had one YouTuber admit that Chris Proudfoot was feeding her questions in a live interview, and we'd had a similar thing said by another YouTuber back in December. And so this pattern that somebody's kind of calling the shots in social media and trying to shape narratives, someone that we think is a likely suspect in Sebastian's disappearance, it's important. It's going to be an important part of this case should charges ever be brought. So it's not separate from Sebastian's disappearance in that sense. If you've got one of the parents directly running a disinformation campaign through various social media influencers, it'll very likely, if there are charges and there are trials and they end up being the people at the center of it, like we think, then all of this will end up being part of evidence. I don't see how it won't be, all of their actions, because we saw that with Megan Boswell case. I mean, a lot of the evidence was really what she did after the child was deceased, and the story she told and spun and the things she attempted to accomplish that way, the misdirection and everything else she did, that ended up being a lot of the trial. So it wouldn't surprise me if the actions of the parents after end up over this last year end up being
Becoming part
of
of
it
it.
too. Yeah.
Yes.
So
And
this,
I can verify that her account is gone from X.
it
It's
is.
either private completely, but it will not, you cannot see anything.
Okay. Well, that's interesting too.
Mhm.
So that's two of the plaintiffs or the defendants, the named ones, at least in this hearing, that have now, yeah. So, I mean, you kind of had these narratives where it was, oh, this is all fake. The lawsuit's all fake. The injunction's fake. This is all dead on arrival. It's not going anywhere. And I don't know, either they feel differently now or something's happening. And yeah, I don't have the answers on all of that, but there's something strange going on when people start deleting their social media like that. And I would think most likely it's some form of fear. So let's start here. This is number 193 now. It was like number 222 when we stopped off last time. Unless, Santi, you've got anything before I get into it.
I don't think so. I think I'm good.
I don't remember reading this one, so I'm going to do 192 anyhow because I don't remember reading it, but I was also tired.
Yeah, we were getting there at the end. It was getting very monotonous.
Yeah, I may have just forgotten this. I just don't remember reading it. So I'm just going to go back to 192 anyway. On January 21st, 2025, a user identified as CEO of West Coast Softball Club posted a threatening message on X directed at plaintiff Hongji, which was flagged by another user. And it says the user stated, "I thought you were scared, Chong. Enjoy the days you have left. LOL, dumb F." And then another user responded, "Is this a threat to AtNight?" I don't remember reading that, but just another one of the threats they've received. So we'll start at 193, and then we'll. I have not read through all of this. Actually, I've read through none of this today. I haven't had time. So we'll just stop whenever there's something of interest. Antine, if there's something you want to stop and talk about, just let me know.
Okay. I'm going to try to keep an eye on chat too, just for questions and clarifications
Sure.
as you're reading.
On January 21st, 2025, proposed defendant SF Investigates posted on X accusing Seth Rogers and his representatives of manipulating the narrative in the Sebastian Rogers case. Fisher stated, "Instead, the show's host, along with Sebastian's own father and his representatives, are now working furiously to reshape the narrative." On January 21st, defendant SF Investigates posted on X accusing Seth Rogers of being we'll just say the bad thing, the chomo. I guess we could do that. If you know that lingo. And let's see. Okay.
And for some, okay, are you, where did you leave off? Oh, yes. Okay.
194.
Okay. I'll
Now
skip to the next one. I just switched.
Oh, that's okay. This will be easier this way than scrolling through her computer.
Oh, yes, for sure.
And then, I'll just say hello to Donna, a new member. Thank you, Donna66, for becoming a new member. We appreciate it. And you've got the crime dog there on your avatar. We appreciate your support that way. Yeah. I know I've seen a few people kind of making predictions about what's going to happen in the chat. I'm at a point, I don't know what's going to happen here. I really don't.
Mr. E, I think that we need to go back to the beginning because the entire beginning of it is new.
Oh, it is?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. There's yes, we need to go back.
All right.
We'll the filings entirely new. Miss
really?
E just texted me that.
Okay.
Yeah, she just said that.
So this is worth doing from beginning.
They're basically saying go back and do the beginning because it's different.
I see.
It's entirely new.
Well, some of you probably read through all of this, and okay. Well, that's okay. Well, we'll do that. This is not actually that because it's much shorter than the 200 and some odd pages we were looking at the other day. This is actually less than 100 now.
So I'm going to go back to the number 1. And yes.
All right. So this is labeled as a so it looks though all the plaintiffs and the defendants are still the same.
The same. Okay.
And it's now called an amended emergency motion for protective order and to enjoin unauthorized recording, broadcasting, and doxing. And now this blank day of blank 2025, the plaintiffs, by and through undersigned counsel, respectfully seek an emergency hearing and entry of a protective order and/or preliminary injunction as warranted against defendants Barbecue Lady, Granny's Watching, and SF Investigates, and in support thereof, aver as follows. Plaintiffs AtNight. I'm not going to read all the AtNight folks and the YouTubers there. They filed this amended emergency petition for injunctive and other equitable relief pursuant to PA RCP 1531, which is special injunctions, 18 PA CS 5103, unlawful use of an audio or video device in court, and Pennsylvania Rule of Judicial Administration 1910, seeking immediate judicial intervention to prohibit defendants from engaging in unauthorized recording, broadcasting, and dissemination of courtroom proceedings. If you recall, there was there were some pictures that were taken inside the courthouse, which is not legal there unless you have judge or court permission. And some of those were sent out. Then there were some allegations that there was some live streaming happening or live updates. Some of that part of it, I haven't seen live stream video of the court, but that's been alleged different places. I don't know, but I definitely have seen the pictures from the courthouse. So that's what this is all in reference to. Do we have trolls going on?
I don't know.
If people have different opinions, of course, we're always okay with that. But if it gets, they cross those lines, I'm great with eliminating them.
Oh, somebody said judge is out of town, not approved. I don't know who that is. Green-eyed PI says judge is out of town, not approved.
Yeah, so I would need actual evidence of that, which I don't think there is. So exhibits referenced here and remain unchanged from the emergency petition filed on March 21st, 2025, and are already in the court's possession. No new exhibits are attached to this amended filing. Pennsylvania law unequivocally prohibits the unauthorized recording, transmission, or dissemination of court proceedings. 18 PACS and 5103.1 makes it a misdemeanor offense to use or operate a device to capture, record, transmit, or broadcast any photograph, video, or audio of a court proceeding without judicial approval. But I think if our understanding anyway is even if the judge is out of town, the court can accept the filing. So I think the judge being out of town is irrelevant. The judge might have to come back in town to set the date when their calendar, but the hearing is going to happen. Additionally, our PA RJA 1910 mandates that judges shall prohibit broadcasting, televising, recording, or taking photographs in the courtroom and areas immediately adjacent thereto. Defendants' conduct violated both statutory law and court rules, directly interfering with the administration of justice. Further, their actions led to the unauthorized publication of court materials on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and X, exposing plaintiffs and others to targeted harassment and threats. This court has the inherent authority to maintain decorum and enforce compliance with judicial directives. Pennsylvania courts have repeatedly upheld contempt sanctions, injunctive relief, and criminal penalties against individuals who violate prohibitions on courtroom recordings, including, and then they cite a couple of examples. Pursuant to Delaware County Rule 208.3, which authorizes expedited court intervention in cases where immediate action is necessary to prevent irreparable harm, plaintiffs seek emergency injunctive relief. Plaintiffs further request an order directing the removal of unauthorized online recordings and real-time court updates disseminated by defendants. Without immediate intervention by this court, plaintiffs and other individuals involved in these proceedings face continued exposure to real-time doxxing, harassment, and privacy violations. Further failure to enforce Pennsylvania statutory protections and judicial administration rules undermines judicial integrity and emboldens similar misconduct in future court proceedings. For the reasons set forth below, plaintiffs respectfully request that this court issue an immediate injunction and grant all additional relief necessary to protect the integrity of these proceedings. So, of course, this could be the reason people are deleting their accounts. It's possible that they are trying to get ahead of, could be a strategy that they might be thinking, if we just delete our social media, there's no reason for the injunction. They say, well, look, we've already taken care of this. You don't need to do anything. We've nuked our own accounts. Maybe that's the thinking. I'm not sure. So I'll go to page 4. So that reads, it's probably different because I don't, but it's basically the similar ideas before. It's all about that recording and pictures and all that was taken inside the courtroom during the hearing. That is still, to my knowledge, unless something came back today, undecided, which is that initial injunction request.
And some people are having a little bit of trouble with our terminology that we said it was approved, but the courts can approve and judges grant. So it was approved. And some people just didn't like the title that we used that, was approved, meaning it's going forward. So,
okay. Yeah.
So people were disputing that.
The legalese that we, So we're not lawyers or attorneys. We're just lay people, just reading this like everyone else, trying to understand what's happening. So maybe approved, accepted, maybe those are not the equal terms in the law.
Well, Life in the Red Kim says, well, the title was actually correct under legal terms. Courts approve something, judges grant it. So she says that we are correct in the terminology there.
Well, thank you for the clarification there,
Yes,
LaCam.
thank you.
Appreciate that.
There were people disputing what we're saying.
Yeah, so people were just saying accepted and approved are not the same thing, I guess. Is that I mean, I don't know.
And then someone says, no, they can't approve, they can only accept.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that's kind of happening is people are trying to get caught up in kind of like the kind of getting caught up in the weeds here a little bit, trying to discredit everything that's happened as it's gone on, because that's happened from the very beginning. You know, the cease and desist was fake. The preliminary injunction was fake. These people are all fake. All the evidence is fake. Everything's fake, and yet everything keeps going forward. And now people are deleting their social media accounts, so it's not as fake as people were pretending it was. It's just so I think there's just going to be this continued pushback on this, pretending it's not real, but it's happening. I think that might be sinking in with people a little bit, because I think people believed that this was all like a hoax or something. But my understanding, the evidence and exhibits and everything, I heard someone say it was 200,000 pages of just this filing, like this filing that happened. You don't do approved the docketing is what Kim calls it.
Yeah, approved for docketing. That's a PA term.
Okay. Yeah, Cajun said, oh, Cajun, good to see you. It was great to meet you a few weeks ago. Cajun says if it were fake, people wouldn't be deleting social media profiles.
Good point.
Right. Of course. Maybe and I think some of them believed probably that it was fake, but just as an outsider from this, you don't do 200,000 pages on a hoax or something, right? That's a lot of time to have put in. So I think people are starting to realize that this is not going away, that it's not just going to hang there in the court. So this is labeled factual background, immediate events necessitating emergency relief. On February 18th, 2025, this honorable court convened at the Delaware County Courthouse in Medea, I'm not sure, Pennsylvania, to hear defendant Barbecue Lady and Granny's Watching anti-SLAPP motion. If you're new to this, also that anti-SLAPP is all about it's a defense against a frivolous lawsuit. So somebody's really just trying to tie you up in court, on some nonsense, and just this is a way for people to recoup all of their court costs and some extra, to try to deter people from filing frivolous lawsuits. And so that's what that is. And that has still not been decided on. On February 18th, 2025, Barbecue Lady and Granny's Watching, along with individuals aligned with them, willfully violated Pennsylvania law and Delaware County Court rules by recording, transmitting, and publicly disseminating court proceedings from a hearing before this honorable court. These actions resulted in widespread online publication of plaintiffs' personal information, harassment, and intimidation, jeopardizing the integrity of judicial proceedings. During the hearing, defendants and/or their associates engaged in unauthorized broadcast and recording and dissemination of courtroom proceedings, in direct violation of Pennsylvania law and Delaware County Court rules. Pennsylvania law
we didn't mention that before, so that is new. That was not in what we discussed prior.
Which part?
That part about the unauthorized broadcasting.
Okay.
We hadn't gotten to that yet.
Oh, we didn't. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Pennsylvania law expressly forbids unauthorized courtroom recordings, makes it a misdemeanor offense to use or operate a device to capture, record, transmit, or broadcast any photograph, video, or audio. And because I know that was something that was discussed before. People were saying, "Oh, it was only photographs," but you can't even do photographs of the court, video or audio of a court proceeding or person within a judicial facility without court approval. But of course, like everything else, it always just depends on whether or not people want to enforce these laws. How many times have we seen people break laws and the local law enforcement just lets it go, right? So I don't know. I don't know if there will be any consequence for that or not, but at least they're asking for relief from the court for that. 15. Okay, we'll change pages here. How are we doing in the chat, Auntie? You okay?
Pretty good. And someone did make a point to say, and this I know for sure, if the judge is out of town, another judge could step in for him if it's considered an emergency order or emergency, ruling. So that just because a judge is out of town doesn't mean it can't be assigned to another judge.
Sure. Yeah, that would make sense.
That's a good point.
That would seem logical. If you have an emergency, sorry, they're on vacation for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania Rule of Judicial Administration 1910 mandates that judges shall prohibit broadcasting, recording, or photographing in the courtroom and adjacent areas during proceedings, unless an exception applies, none of which apply here. Okay, I was just making sure I understood that too. Pennsylvania Rule of Criminal Procedure 112 directs courts to prohibit the taking of photographs, video, or motion pictures of any judicial proceedings or in the hearing room or courtroom or its environments. Despite those clear prohibitions, defendants unlawfully recorded and or facilitated live updates from inside the courtroom, violating both statutory law and court directives. Defendants' conduct violated both statutory law and court rules, directly interfering with the administration of justice. Their actions led to the unauthorized publication of court materials on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and X, exposing plaintiffs and others to targeted harassment and threats. At approximately 12:15 p.m., Delaware County Sheriff's deputies responded to the courtroom during the proceedings after receiving reports that real-time updates from inside the courtroom were being transmitted via social media platforms, including YouTube, TikTok, and X. I do know that was happening because I saw that happen. The court inquired whether any individual in the gallery was transmitting courtroom content. All attendees, including the plaintiffs, defendants, and their associates, affirmed under oath that they had not engaged in unauthorized recording, transmission, or dissemination of courtroom content. I don't remember quite reading this before. This part about
we didn't.
Yeah, I don't.
So I can see why we needed to go back and read it because it is different.
Yeah, people were messaging me about this happening while it was happening. As far as the updates go. Number 21, nevertheless, defendants and or their associates continued to disseminate real-time updates through social media sometime between 12:15 and 1:15 p.m. Deputies again interrupted the hearing due to live updates surfacing from inside the courtroom that were appearing on YouTube and X. So they came back a second time. Okay, so they came back a second time into the courtroom.
That's what the way this is worded, yes.
Yeah, so within the hour. Both defendant aligned Doe, Queen Bee, and defendant aligned Doe, J for Justice, covered the February 18th hearing live on their respective platforms. A second YouTube live stream hosted by defendant aligned Doe, J for Justice, alleged contained real-time audio from the hearing. Allegedly contained. Okay. So maybe that's not confirmed yet. Users in the live stream that chat claimed they could hear portions of the court's statements. Under Rule 1910B, judges shall prohibit all broadcasting, recording, or photographing in the courtroom except in very limited circumstances, none of which applied here. At the court's direction, all individuals in attendance were required to surrender their cell phone devices to court officers for inspection. One individual, seated with plaintiffs as a spectator, privately informed the court's officer that he feared defendants would attempt to expose or dox his identity for merely attending the hearing. The officer assured him that personal information would be handled appropriately. Despite these court-ordered precautions, unauthorized images and footage of the proceedings surfaced online within minutes of the hearing's conclusion. All right. So yeah, that's all fairly new. I don't remember all of that.
We didn't talk about this the other day.
Yeah, so I'm glad we went back on this. Pattern of conduct. Post-February 18 hearing. On February 18th, defendant aligned Doe, Queen Bee, hosted a 6-hour YouTube live stream with various individuals, all of whom are aligned. Oh,
I just switched it.
Very good. Aligned with the defendants. And I apologize if I'm missing anything in the chat. I apologize for that, but
yeah, and I'm trying to go back and forth. So far we're good.
Just stop me if there's anything you want to read. And hereby referred to as defendant aligned Doe, covering the court hearing, utilizing a makeshift press pool arranged by the defense without court approval. Defendant in the line Doe stated, barbecue's supposed to come up here and talk to us, keep us updated. I got somebody else up there too that was going to keep us updated if she didn't have a chance to. So it'll all work out either way. We'll get some updates. Defendant in the line Doe further stated, that's too bad. They said Nick looks sick like that S. Defendant in the line Doe continued, stress, drugs, life, parole. I mean S. You know what I'm saying? Defendant in the line Doe added, I don't know if he did get violated for 100%. But through the grapevine, yes, it was alleged that they did put in to violate his parole. I'm not sure if he got violated or not. I'm not sure if it went through, but it was put in. I do know that for sure. I mean, his stuff is open just like everybody. I mean, if one person's fair game, everybody's fair game, right? Defendant in the line Doe also stated, I think she's a disgrace to use her service with this missing child. And with this and then wearing in her military today, I think that's disgraceful. I think she uses her service in the military to shield herself from criticism. I don't thank her. And that of course, is I'm sure referring to Jules the dog handler. Finally, defendant Align Doe stated, why win Rico now? I'm all excited. I don't know what that means, actually. Then on February 19th, 2025, defendant Align Doe Queen B hosted a YouTube live stream titled Court Recap for Rico. Little Skid Row shows out and Hong goes full clown on X. Lasting over 7 hours and focused on the previous day's court hearing. Defendant Align Doe stated, Hong is going to F your lawsuit up anyways, or you're effing fake, A, Rico BS. And I'm glad that Granny's attorney brought my name up in there for this BS. Defendant Align Doe continued, writing effing racist emails with racist rhetoric. Defendant Align Doe further stated, effing team of criminals, team of effing frauds, in my opinion. All right, let's listen to this. AtNight, not intelligence agency that Hong Nick got going on. Defendant Align Doe also stated, they keep claiming they got death threats and this, that, and the other. Defendant Align Doe added, they're trying to run a narrative. They're trying to run a narrative that they're getting death threats, that all this is just, you know what I'm saying. Finally, Defendant Align Doe stated, yeah, this is their little BS to try and prove that they're receiving death threats. Get the F out of here with that BS. Out of context, a video, crybaby B. Sorry for I know it's silly with me doing the letters maybe, but you know, it's unnecessary, I think, anyway. Hopefully everybody gets the context of what I'm saying. Some of this, now this I know we read before, so it may be tightened up a little or slightly different, but that I remember doing. On February 19th, 2025, Defendant Align Doe Queen B hosted an additional YouTube live stream targeting plaintiffs in their legal proceedings. On February 20th, Defendant Align Doe Queen B hosted a YouTube live stream continuing to target plaintiffs and discourage participation in legal proceedings. All right, so we're almost to the end of this section. On February 21st, Defendant Align Doe Queen B hosted a YouTube live stream using statements aimed at individuals involved in the legal proceedings. On February 22nd, Defendant Align Doe Queen B hosted a YouTube live stream continuing her pattern of commentary related to the legal proceedings. Yeah. All right, so that is the end of that section. This next part is pattern of conduct leading to the February 18th courtroom photography.
Yeah, this is completely organized different.
Yeah, so it's a little more. Yeah, I think
it's cleaned up. It's cleaned up too. It's better. It's easier to understand.
Right. Number 35. At all relevant times herein, defendants generated revenue from this activity through super chats, which are viewer tips in exchange for the misleading or blatantly false information they provided to bolster their purported position and deceptively garner donations. Granny's Watching hosted a YouTube live stream, further focusing on tracking and intimidating individuals related to the legal proceedings. Same day, Granny's Watching hosted a YouTube live stream ridiculing plaintiffs and spreading false claims about their credibility. So we get this article, and the first thing I see is like, wait, there's something really freaking weird about this, right? And I'm reading it, and I'm sure the same way you all did, and it's AtNight Private Intelligence Agency, Dog the Bounty Hunter, amplified the reward to 100,000. And I'm like, well, geez, 6 months later, but better never, right? Better now than on September 4th. And it says for immediate release. And I'm like, well, who's this company? On September 6th, Granny's Watching hosted a YouTube live stream in which she criticized plaintiffs' motivations and monetization practices. You don't care about clicks or any of that. Why are you monetized? I love when people say that I don't care about clicks. I don't care about money. Then turn off your ad revenue. Why did you monetize your channel and keep it at 100? You don't monetize your channel. You don't care about the money. That's BS, because if you didn't care, you wouldn't collect it. Why couldn't Tony do this? Why did they need Dog to do it? You couldn't do this without Tony. I mean, without Dog, Tony and Seth are the ones that had the ability to get involved, get News Nation involved. Matter of fact, he was just on Vinnie Politan not too long ago. Looks like S on his upper lip. September 7th, Granny's Watching hosted a monetized YouTube live stream, minimizing the plaintiff's professional credentials and threatening to release personal records. Defendant Granny's Watching hosted a YouTube live stream and made statements misrepresenting the plaintiffs, particularly targeting their search effort and individuals associated with it. Oh, you're on it, Auntie. You're on it.
I'm keeping up.
Yeah, thank you for everybody for being here. And there's a ton of folks here, and yes, a lot of our favorite people, so we do appreciate it. On September 10th, Granny's Watching and Doge for Justice engaged in a YouTube live stream discussing strategies to discredit Seth Rogers and other plaintiffs, allegedly furthering their campaign of defamation. Granny's Watching hosted a YouTube live stream in which she said Doge for Justice attacked former FBI agent Jennifer Coffindaffer with mockery and insults. And also, I think they're a distraction. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if basically behind the scenes, Mr. Seth Rogers or Tony is talking to these people and saying, hey, can you act that no one pays attention to overhear what's going on over here? What's the truth? That's basically a distraction. You a-hole F-face because two people in your effed up chat for demanded. One of them was on Facebook. Now shut the F up. So the first one was attributed to defendant Align Doe B. Tim. And then that one was just now attributed to Granny's Watching. B. Tim, I don't think he's been mentioned before, has he?
He was on our Doe's list, I think, wasn't he?
Was he? Okay.
Or was he not? Maybe not.
I don't remember hearing that name.
No, he's not on there.
Yeah. So he may have been later and now it's moved around or whatever.
Yeah.
Take that back to your B. Thank you. Stop lying and keep people's names out of your fat A mouth. Yeah, before I got your address, B. Stop eating just to Lisa and stop lying. No, she showed all over the place that she's even had money in her mouth. That's Granny's Watching. January 1st, Granny's Watching hosted a YouTube live stream in which she and defendant Align Doe, UA Crimson Tide, defended SF investigates while discussing plaintiff Rogers' background and actions. Well, y'all are mad that we went over his resume. Well, if you want to talk about him being a hard worker, most of his job was being the caretaker or a security consultant for Sebastian. That's UA Crimson Tide. Well, not only that, but the fact that he just went back to work right before Sebastian disappeared, he was on disability before. Attributed to Granny's Watching. Exactly, and they didn't want to admit that. I don't know. They have a problem with the truth. I'm sorry, Seth don't like the truth. So I like the truth personally. And that's UA Crimson Tide. Well, this wasn't with SF, is what I'm hearing people are asking. That's Granny's Watching. SF had absolutely nothing to do with this. UA Crimson Tide. On January 6th, Granny's Watching hosted a YouTube live stream in which she and panelists defended Doe's Cluminati and Cletus, mocked individuals associated with the litigation, focusing on personal relationships and roles. On January 7th, Granny's Watching hosted a monetized YouTube live stream in which she discussed plaintiffs and their legal team. On January 14th, Granny's Watching hosted a YouTube live stream in which she discussed legal filings and plaintiffs' attorneys. That kind of stuff, I always thought will really not go over well. It's almost like you could almost get away with taking a shot at the plaintiff, but when you start going after the attorneys and the judges and stuff like that, I've heard that a few times with this. Boy, I just don't think that's going to go over well. I just saw a... Okay. All right. So we're still on page 13, aren't we? On January 15th, 2025, Granny's Watching hosted a monetized YouTube live stream in which she discussed legal proceedings and court filings. January 19th, Granny's Watching hosted a YouTube live stream in which she discussed involving minors in legal proceedings. On January 23rd, Granny's Watching hosted a monetized YouTube live stream during which she read email communications related to the court process to her audience. She generated revenue from this activity through super chats, which are viewer tips. I'm assuming what they're trying to show here is that they're just trying to show that the defendants are working to capitalize on the injunction requests and all that, right? That they
And thank you, Misinformation Corrector. She gave us a $1.99 super chat. Thank you so much.
So I saw somebody said they're waiting to hear death threats. Well, we already did those in the last one, so they're going to be in here somewhere. Because they're actually submitted as evidence. At least they were in the last filing. See, Granny's Watching on January 28th, hosted a monetized YouTube live stream during which she essentially sold her regular updates on the instant matter to her audience through viewer contributions. On January 30th, Granny's Watching hosted a YouTube live stream in which she made statements about deposing the medical records of plaintiff's children and commented on plaintiff's legal claims. Okay, now these are quotes. I'm assuming these are all Granny's Watching. It doesn't say, but I guess it is. If we decide to, we can absolutely depose the medical records of her children and all that to prove that they faced any harm from this. They can't meet their predicate acts for RICO. When you make a YouTube channel, you are standing on a stage. If you don't like the tomatoes being thrown, step off the public stage. On February 3rd, Granny's Watching hosted a YouTube live stream titled An Organized Effort to Deceive Public Perception, Shadows, Apps, and Unscrupulous YouTubers. Why? During the broadcast, she accused AtNight Rogers, Mathis, and Nick the Hat of operating a social media cleanup crew to manipulate public perception as referenced in transcript pages. Then it gets the pages there. In this live stream, defendant Granny's Watching said that plaintiffs did it for Sylvester Stallone and did it for Bill Cosby, adding they're a social media cleanup crew. Defendant Granny's Watching further alleges manipulative media practices by questioning plaintiff Rogers' involvement with an interview pulled by Nancy Grace. Why would Nancy Grace pull her interview? Did he come down because Nancy Grace fell for actual manufactured drama? They did a good campaign, but it won't last long because when their litigation fails, you're going to have to question the intelligence. Who needs PR? Who needs a cleanup crew? What these outrageous non-factual building fiction BS when their child's missing. On February 5th, Granny's Watching hosted another live stream titled Request for Admissions. First up, Nick the Hat, Seth Rogers Intelligence Agency. And then it gets the pages here. These pages demonstrate ongoing harassment, defamation, direct threats, and witness intimidation, along with potential wire fraud through soliciting funds in exchange for sharing legal filings. Early in the live stream, Granny's Watching seeks audience contributions by stating, and I'll tell you, my ears perk up every time I hear anything in here involving money, like the wire fraud stuff or the fundraising allegations. Just because my perception of law enforcement is they don't care about harassment and defamation so much, maybe, but they get very interested in the idea of wire fraud. That's the kind of thing that's just the kind of stuff that they go after. At least we get their attention to want to look at, I think. Let's see. Early in the live stream, Granny's Watching seeks audience contributions by stating, set a goal for today, even if it's $1, $5, or $50, like Sasha did, it counts. And if we meet the goal, we will read Brittany J's admissions. If the responding party does not respond, the matter is automatically admitted. Certain entities will be looking forward to a thorough examination of Seth Rogers because of this frivolous action. Between March 15th and March 23rd, defendant aligned UA Crimson Tide and Rebecca 81 USA. Do we know who that one is?
I'm going to put that. I don't think we have that one.
I don't remember that one.
I want to add that to my list.
Yes, Aperture Girl. We do the machete party whenever we hit 1,000 likes. So if you are in here and you'd like the machete party, we would be happy to do it. Usually, if we hit that goal, it's really towards the end. But we'll keep an eye on it. But yeah, we absolutely do it. And sometimes I cave and do it at 700, just because yeah, we've been kind of doing 700 as the goal recently.
Okay, next page.
Yeah, well, we don't know. I don't know that it matters if the judge is on vacation or not. I don't. There might be another judge assigned for what somebody was suggesting earlier if it's considered an emergency. and we don't know how long this judge's vacation is. Either way, the expectation is that it would be likely within 2 weeks. So probably pretty quickly, even if the judge is on vacation. It would kind of make logical sense that if a judge were gone for a month, you wouldn't just tell people, sorry, your emergency is just going to have to wait. Judge is gone for a month. I don't think that's how that would work. Well, thank you, Shampoo in 1966 or
They can
Montar
easily give it to a new judge too. It's not hard.
I think they could, but I would kind of imagine that judges probably keep in contact with their clerks or whatever. It could kind of say, yeah, here's my calendar. Go ahead and do it or whatever. I would guess.
Mm-hmm.
The world doesn't stop because the judge goes on vacation, I just don't know that that's that important, but maybe it is. Who knows? Let's see. I think we're at number 55. So, yeah.
Wow.
So several pages listed here. This demonstrates on. Do you just have something, Eddie?
No, I'm on 57. Do I need to go back to 55?
Oh, was it 57?
Yeah, you just finished the Rebecca 81
Oh, yeah.
USA, so we should be on the next page. We should be on starting 57.
You're right. I flipped the page back. On between March 29th and April 30th, a defendant in a line, UA Crimson Tide, posted on X in a continued pattern of monitoring and amplifying defendant SF investigates, including conduct suggesting efforts to assist or recruit others in connection with his online activities. Oh, I see. Yeah, we saw some of this last time. Yeah. So what we're about to see with all of this, probably throughout, is this kind of like ongoing relationship between UA Crimson Tide, SF. They're trying to show that this pattern exists.
Now we did talk about this number 58. I remember talking about the Riley Strain case, and I remember talking about those items.
Yeah, because I know people were like, "Why are we talking about Riley Strain when this is not about Riley Strain?" But it's just showing. It's trying to show that this enterprise exists outside of even the Sebastian Rogers case, right? That's
right.
At least that's the allegation, that there is a network. Can I just say something else? Because this has come up so many times when people talk about these RICO allegations and they're like, well, I don't even know this person. I've never talked to this person. It doesn't matter at all. If you think of any criminal organization, you would only have to be connected to one person to be part of the organization. Most criminal organizations, they don't get together and have like roundtable meetings. Anyway, right. You might have a bagman
there's usually one connecting person to each criminal enterprise, and they aren't all interrelated necessarily.
Yeah, a dealer might have one guy he buys from or something, but there might be a network of thousands for all that dealer knows, and they're still part of an organization, even if they don't personally know everybody. So it's just kind of a flawed defense to not know everybody involved or have ever spoken to everyone. It's just the pattern and the connection, and there's different things they have to meet. Whether or not they'll be successful, I don't know. But that part of it is not a valid argument.
And Ivy League Flight Nurse says, regardless of who, what, when, and where the judge is, this has been accepted by the courts and will be heard by a judge. Absolutely. Yeah. So I don't know of the terminology and accepted and approved. It doesn't really matter. That's kind of what it all boils down to.
Yeah. Well, Kim, that was here earlier. She's I think has a degree in law. I don't think she's a practicing attorney, but has a law degree, I believe.
Right.
If I understand correctly. So she said that was appropriate to say approved.
And Appy says, I have a bit of a complicated question. How are all these people connected? And that goes back to what you were just saying.
Yeah, it's
they aren't necessarily all connected, but they're connected to a degree. Whether it's one person connected to another person, connected to another person.
Well, I think that's why they're showing this. They're showing that, for example, they're showing that people in the courtroom were feeding this to YouTubers outside the courtroom, the people on their panels. It's you have, they are kind of showing the connection between all these folks. They've been in contact and working together. You can decide whether or not you think that's a good or bad thing, but there's clearly communication and working together. The question is if it would, be a criminal enterprise of any kind, That's what the judge would have to decide here. And obviously this is not this will not be a criminal type of decision. So this is not like somebody's going to prison for decades from this. This would just be, this is a civil, allegation, seeking civil remedies, right? A protective order. Hello.
Hi.
How are the kids?
They're fine.
Everybody good?
I wanted you to acknowledge Keep Up the Chatter. It's been a member for 4 months.
Hello, Keep Up the Chatter. Thank you very much. She says y'all are the best. Thank you. We very much appreciate it. We may have missed some. I'm so sorry if we did.
And we did have a new member as well. We have Denise Sprague became a new member. And Ashley, we had Ashley that's a new member. And I think the last one we had was Shirley Batista as a member for a month.
Oh, yeah, we
And
did
I
miss
think-
that one. Well, thank you,
then
Shirley.
Donna is also a new member, and I like her crime dog.
I think we said thank you to Donna, but thank you to everyone for
Okay,
for
awesome.
being members. I was just looking a little at the chat there while we get settled in.
So, okay.
Is there anything else? Did I make any mistakes? I assume you listened to some while you were out.
I did try to a little bit. I'm going to only be able to be on here for about 10 or 15 minutes before I have to get on my other call. So.
And Irony Rose, thank you for being a member with us for 4 months. And she said, thank you for all you do. Thank you so much for being our member.
Yes, we do appreciate it. Thank you, Irony Rose.
We're not doing the songs right now just to kind of keep this going along because it's a lot.
It is a lot. And I think we can do it if I keep going.
And Kim explained what she does.
Oh, good.
Life in the Red Kim says, sorry, I'm listening. Yes, I have a JD and do legislative and advocacy work on behalf of adults with intellectual development disability. Oh, well, that's great. With intellectual and developmental disabilities. Well, that's wonderful work for you to be doing. So that's God's work there.
I do see a lot of people asking what this has to do with Sebastian. If you want to just kind of briefly go over that real quick.
Sure. Well, I mean, this is run people off of the case: searchers, investigators, volunteers,
Defamation against the father and advocate.
Yeah, you've got death threats, false evidence, false statements attributed to people, general harassment. There's alleged wire fraud going on, fraud within the fundraising. I think they will get to later on. I don't think that's been mentioned yet, but it was in the preliminary injunction. And so all of this prevents awareness and work to be done on Sebastian's behalf. The most recent example that just sticks in my mind is the one where we had a councilman try to share the flyer with the $347,000 reward. And I don't know who instigated it, but someone sent a flood of people to shout him down, pull down that flyer, and that harms potentially finding Sebastian, because that when you have people intimidating others to share flyers and rewards, you don't know that him sharing that flyer might have brought Sebastian home, and a group of people were incited to go shout that man down. And there's countless examples of that kind of stuff that's happened. News stations getting intimidated, YouTubers, TikTokers, volunteers, all of that. You don't know what might have brought Sebastian home or brought an evidence leading to justice for him. So this directly could have made a difference. All of these actions could have made a difference in whether or not Sebastian's case has been solved by now. And I think that's the argument they're trying to make.
Right. And to answer Appy Girl, does this mean Seth is involved? Seth is a plaintiff in this, which is kind of funny because I keep hearing, he needs to be searching for his child. He doesn't need to be in a court case in the lawsuit. I keep hearing that over and over and over. But, Seth is not handling the legal documents and the filings. Seth is signed off on his affidavit, of his claims. So Seth is not actively, going to the courts, filing things. And,
He's not doing all this legwork, and it's not taking up his day and night.
right.
That's
a complaint I keep hearing over and over. So
he's still
and
looking.
I wanted to welcome in Moon and Krama. She came to visit us today.
Oh, hello, Moon. Good to have you here.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Hold on. I want to do that, and then we can do Seth. And she says this has a lot to do with the cases going forward and coverage, such as of such cases as well. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. This kind of decision, whatever is made, will affect how people act going forward. It'll either stay like it is or it'll change.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because it'll either be a cautionary tale or things will stay like they are.
And Aunt E, you want to put?
Yes.
Thank you.
Seth Rogers says the drama has stopped organizations from assisting me in finding Sebastian.
Exactly.
Yep. I know that is one that gets Seth a lot. That's very troubling for him. So I've heard him say that a couple of times. We've seen at the very beginning, we've all heard the threats and people backing out of the case. Anyone has followed this case since the beginning. Hi, Dreaming of Blue Skies and Sandy Beaches. Thank you for the super sticker and for coming in. Southern Soul True Crime says it's interfering in a missing child's case. It should be a crime. And yeah, I think that was one of the allegations in the original too, was endangering a child endangerment. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think, that's at least an allegation.
Thank you, Yaya's World, for being a member for 5 months. She says, hello, the E's. It's been a bit, but I'm listening. Well, we appreciate you being here, and we appreciate you being a member for 5 months. We appreciate all of it. Appreciate's like one of my favorite words. Sorry.
And NJ Robin had a question. She said, Mr. E, do you know if that flyer was accepted by the TBI or FBI? They are the ones who put out Amber Alerts. I'm not really sure what
I think they're talking about the flyer that has the larger reward.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
What difference does it make?
Exactly.
I mean, what difference does it make? Why would you not want people to be incentivized by a $347,000 reward?
I think she's just saying the credibility of the reward, but like you said, why does that matter?
Why could a private group not offer a reward? Why do you need FBI approval anyway? If we wanted to put out a reward, we don't need the FBI to approve it, do we?
No, we could just put it out.
We could just make a fund and do whatever legal stuff we had to do and just put it out.
I want to say something to Dreaming of Blue Skies. She sent a coffee, that's her sticker, an avocado with a coffee. And she knows how much I love coffee. So thank you so much, Dreaming. We appreciate you. That's so cute. Sorry.
And I think we all know a $347,000 reward gets a lot more attention than a $50,000 reward.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah.
And
well, I mean,
it might just be the incentive that one person needs to say something.
And another thing, even if you want to disregard the rest of the reward, I mean, the FBI put out a pretty aggressive $50,000 reward. So that should tell you everything you need to know.
Why would you want to bully a councilman into pulling it off of his Facebook page?
Exactly.
It's
Misinformation corrector says, I would like to see the threats, not words. Where are they?
Did you ever see the one that Hong got on X publicly?
I've seen it.
I've seen it as well.
Yeah. And then they
I think it's in one of these. It's here somewhere.
Yeah, it's in this 200,000 pages of evidence too, because they've submitted. They referenced them last time, but we're of course reading the revised now or amended complaint that they're putting in, and they referenced a few, and then they listed the exhibits that they're under. So it'll all be in here. These death threats that they've received.
Well, and I'm so sorry you hit one when I did.
Well, our sweet Justin is in here, and he Clutch Them Pearl says, "I love you always, forever, nearer, far closer together." Everywhere I will go with you, and I know the rest of the song. So.
I like the avatar. Is that any newer avatar for him?
I don't know. I'm still floating on a cloud of getting to pet Remy Pearl. So that was one of the highlights of my life. I loved it.
The monkey's pretty cute on video, even cuter in person.
Oh, no she's so sweet. She's so sweet. Monkey.
I thought that Amber made a good point too about the interference. Death threats to searchers most definitely affect the finding Sebastian. There have been lots of people that have had cars vandalized, things like that while they were out looking, that we know for sure happened.
Well,
Sorry. Please read it.
Push and Pearls, thank you so much for the super chat. Everywhere I will be with you. Everything I will do for you. Say it again. I love you always, forever. I love all my E's.
Oh, and we love you back.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate
Thank
you
you
so
for that.
much.
Uh,
So cute.
yeah.
That just made my day.
Mr. E doesn't read it quite in cadence of the song.
Will you do it right,
I
Andy?
don't. What's the song?
Everywhere I will be with you. Everything I will do for you. Say it again. I love you always, forever. Love all my E's.
What's the song?
I
Near
love
and
you
far.
always, forever, near and far,
Oh.
close and together. And I'm not a
Gotcha.
singer.
I got you. I'm
Yeah,
terrible with lyrics. I
I
always
used to
get songs
sing that
wrong.
song to my little boy well, he's not little now. He's 28 years old, but I used to sing that to him all the time.
Aw. Well, that was very
So
sweet.
that's one of my favorite songs.
And I'm sure some of these, let's say you've got 50 death threats, right, that they're alleging. I'm sure some of them are kind of, whoa,
You just
lost a little equipment.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
You just pounded on the
Little.
table. No big deal.
I'm sure like some of them
That's
are
hilarious.
veiled threats. Some are more serious than others. So, you know what I mean? There's probably I'm sure there's some people that claim they've gotten death threats in the past and they're not real, or they're just such a, they're so subtle. You could take it one way or another. And then you have the kind like Hong got, which was like, I'm going to come in, shoot you in the face. It's basically what I think something along those lines that they said. I mean, there's no subtlety to that, but yeah, I mean, I'm always skeptical of death threats too, except in this case, we have them now being accepted as evidence.
Yeah, I saw that one in real time as it was posted.
Yeah. But
and Ivy League flight nurse, thank you for becoming a member.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Ivy Lee. We appreciate that. And Lisa Ann also. Thank you guys. We really appreciate that.
Member for 6 months. We appreciate everything y'all do. Thank you so much.
Guidance says they skipped ahead 2 times and are now caught up. I feel you. I do that all the time. Trying to catch up on people. I lost my place.
My doggy. Yes,
sure
she's
where I
nearby.
was.
Here, let me see.
Was I at the-
Somebody said, "Is my doggy nearby?" Let me see if there she is. See her?
Yes.
Sorry.
Down here at our
I want to
feet.
see that. She's usually pretty close by.
She does like that spot.
She does. She gets right behind me. She can't wait to come see you all.
So this is the kind of stuff I don't understand. So NJ Robin, the TBI said a reward can be put out, but not on an official Amber Alert that TBI issues is all I know. Just question it was in news briefings. Okay. Well, I guess TBI will handle that if they have a problem with it, right? But why flood the councilman with it?
Right.
What's your purpose? What's your real purpose there?
Yeah, and what would
That's
be
what I don't get.
Yeah, what would be your reason to dissuade someone
Yeah.
from putting a total amount on there to encourage more people to come forward?
Okay. Let's say it's some kind of fine or something they've got to pay or whatever because they made a mistake, and let TBI and those people deal with it. Why would you want to stop the awareness for Sebastian? You might have prevented him from coming home. You don't know because you just don't know where the break in the case is coming from. Mind blowing to me. So I think we're on number 57. Between March 29th and April 30th, defendant Align Doe, UA Crimson Tide, posted on X in a continued pattern of monitoring and amplifying SF investigates, including conduct suggesting efforts to assist or recruit others in connection with his online activities. Between May 10th and May 14th, UA Crimson Tide engaged in coordinated X activity with proposed defendant SF investigates related to the Riley Strain case, including repost, public amplification, and tagging of journalists. On or about February 7th, Granny's watching broadcast a YouTube live stream containing defamatory and harassing statements about Brittany J., Nick the Hat, AtNight Media, and Seth Rogers. She also stated that her lawyer put his foot on Castor's neck. Defendant Granny's watching falsely attributed a statement to plaintiff Brittany J. about opposing counsel, saying that they literally said that he is a back alley attorney and he's not happy about them saying that. Yeah. The insults to the attorneys are wild.
That's funny too because he's so credentialed.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite of what he is. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah, I just don't get.
Well,
I don't
we
get that.
interviewed him.
I mean, yes, but I mean, he's like so credentialed. He's so well,
They don't let
respected.
just anybody be a professor.
At Penn State.
Yeah.
It's not like it's Penn State. But just you can almost understand taking shots at the plaintiffs. Even that's kind of. That's crazy to me anyway. In the middle of litigation to talk about each other anyway, but especially going after the attorneys who really aren't. They're not. But anyway, that's what they did. Granny's watching mocked plaintiff's legal filing, saying, "My attorney at one point said this is just absolute drivel, and I can't even dumb myself down enough to know how to respond to this. Oh, am I? It's funny because my attorney's the one that came out and put his foot on Castor's neck, isn't he? My attorney's the one that currently has your spokesman silent as a fart in the wind." All right.
Where are we at? I'm lost.
We are now on page 17 at the top.
Okay, at the top. All right.
Yeah. Granny's watching encouraged retaliation and mocked the plaintiff's RICO claim, saying, "I always ask all of you to please not even hate watch or go in and comment. Get the F out of here. Sure, you can be bothered by my attorney's emails. I'd be bothered too if I had a RICO case and had to have another attorney come in and tell me exactly what RICO is." All right. Defendant Granny's watching. Disparaged Nick the Hat's professionalism, stating Nick may have been let out of his civil RICO action or of this civil action here, but nonetheless, he was deeply enthralled in it, right? He doesn't even have the respect to sit up when he is speaking. It's not very professional, is it? On or about February 13th, Granny's watching hosted a YouTube live stream titled "The Scrambling Has Begun," recaps reality and reviews, featuring Barbecue Lady as a panel guest. During the broadcast, they mocked the court, discussed a courthouse publicity stunt, and expressed intent to manipulate legal outcomes. Defendant Granny's watching planned, "I want to reenact what's going to happen in court, so I think I need a judge's outfit." Barbecue Lady responded, "I just want to know if you'd be willing to make a short clip. I'm bringing my own camera crew." Barbecue elaborated, "So I've got this thing envisioned in my head. Slow motion, walking out the doors, walking down the steps, putting our glasses on, and walking out." Granny added, "You know what I find repulsive? The entire filing. That's what I find repulsive, the entire filing. Okay, what do you guys find more repulsive? Their photos being taken in a public space, or the fact that they filed this off the back of a missing child, put a 1 for the missing child, put a 2 for their poor photos being shown?" And I think all this, what that's, kind of just making is this the decorum issue, the making a mockery of it all by making videos outside the courthouse and all this, just,
I have to step away.
Sure. And are we caught up on everything or anything you want to, before you go?
I actually was filling out a form.
Okay.
But I will be back as soon as I can, but I have to take myself completely off. Okay. Oh, and we have a new member, Sorta Morta. Welcome. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Sorta Morta.
Yeah, I do too. Well, thank you so much, Sorta Morta. Everybody was agreeing with you here, Life in the Red Kim. So I was going to read this comment. Waiving the privilege by reading your lawyer's emails publicly on social media blows my mind a little too. Oh, yeah. That's a good point. They read their own lawyer's emails publicly. Is that what they did? So I don't know.
I don't watch that. Yeah.
I don't know a lot of that.
Yeah.
Oh, and Nina sent us another sticker. She's so sweet. She's always sending us stickers. And also, Leanne is a member for 6 months. Aunt E, can you highlight that?
Yes, I have it other thing blown up so I can keep up. Hang on 1 second.
Here, I can do it real quick.
Okay, I'm trying to minimize my screen. There
we go. Leanne says, "We appreciate everything y'all do." Well, Leanne, we appreciate you. And thank you so much for being a member for 6 months. We really appreciate it. But I'm going to have to disconnect my computer and everything. So
sure.
Okay.
There's a little side discussion going on the the dog sense too. And I know that's not what we're talking about, but just if there's a few names I don't recognize. What we had heard very early on, just locally from different sources that have panned out pretty well, was that Sebastian's scent never left the driveway. That's as far as his scent went. So when we started hearing stuff about his scent going anywhere else, this is way before we ever had like our, YouTube channel or anything. This was things that people that would know were telling us.
And we heard that there was a false hit, but it was not his scent. It was just a dog reacting, but it was not to his specific scent. Isn't that correct?
That's what we were told.
And
three different times. Three different people.
Jennifer
that would know.
Coffendoffer did an interview with Jules, the dog handler, and she explained it really well.
Yeah.
So I would look for that one. It was a few months back.
All right. So I think we'll go on here. Are you about to leave us?
I am. I'm removing myself now. I'll be back as soon as my call's over.
Do you want this?
Oh, yeah.
Your phone for the call?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So I think we're okay. So we're still on February 18th. Granny's Watching hosted a YouTube live stream titled "I Can Feel It in the Air," in which she discussed plaintiff's legal filings, Seth Rogers and his supporters.
When she took that off, it went away.
Can you bring it back?
I can bring it back on yours. Hold on.
Yeah, we have no document.
Water break.
Have Auntie talk to chat while you're
okay. Let's see. Let me scroll down. Got a lot of people in. Don't forget to hit that like button if you want to see the machete video. I know a lot of you asked about that already. We'd like to show it to you. So make sure you hit that like button.
Give me just
see.
Sorry.
I think, let's see.
It'll take a second to upload.
Yeah, as of right now, that was what we understood, that there was no evidence that he left the home.
You can still talk.
Okay, I was actually just reading the chat while.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know what page number you were on.
18.
Okay, so you'll have to get back to that.
Sure.
As soon as it's
and
done.
I won't be able to help.
You will be able to once it's up.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was on his, if I would.
Well, it has, the way that they're doing it now on StreamYard is you have to upload it. So just give me a second. It's uploading.
Sure.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Let's see. Someone had a question. Wasn't it said that the dog hadn't been to the home yet? He came straight to subdivision and to the pond.
I don't know about that.
That dog, that part I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. But he was like in a vehicle or whatever, right? So he didn't follow anything up to the top of that hill. He got out of the whatever it was. Was it a truck or a
SUV
or something?
It was something. Yeah, kind of like one of those four-wheeler with doors. I forget what they're called.
Yeah, something like that. And the dog got out there, so he didn't even follow a track up to that point.
Okay, and you'll have to get to the page.
Okay, I will. And then
I have 2 minutes.
All right, I have about 5 minutes, and then I'll be stepping out for a little bit, and then I'll be back.
Okay.
But I will get you to where we need to go.
Hey, buddy. Smiling Sleuth. Basically, what has happened is the filing that went in last week. They have submitted an amended filing, and it's been approved by the court, meaning that sometime, more than likely this week or within the next 2 weeks, they will have an emergency hearing on this. So it's less exhibits, it looks like, maybe, or it's just tightened up, maybe in the language. This is definitely I haven't seen any like grammatical or spelling errors or anything like that in this one, at least at this point.
Yeah, it's tightened up for sure.
Yeah, it's sharper than the last one was. But anyway, it got approved today. So the big deal is that it's sometime in the next 2 weeks. They're going to have to have a hearing about this. And we're just going through what they're submitting to the court. And if they get what they want, they'll get some type of protective order against, I guess, the 3 individuals. I don't know what happens to the does that are listed. I don't know if they'll have to file those in the states they're in if they're being served. I don't know how that'll work. We'll see what happens, but I think I'm on number 61.
Okay, we go to that. And I'm going to have to step off screen too. So you're on your own. We're on the right page, ready to go for that one. But I'll come back as soon as I can.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, are we already there at Machete Party? We might be getting close. So this says on February 18th, 2025, Granny's Watching hosted a YouTube live stream titled I Can Feel It in the Air, in which she discussed the plaintiff's legal filings. Seth Rogers and a supporter stating, all right, so I wanted to read to you guys so you know how they filed their 10 documents while we were waiting on that. So we went ahead and responded, and this is a memorandum of law, and it's to strike their filings because their filings are over 30 days late, right? Granny's Watching stated, did Tony Mathis on behalf of Seth Rogers say that he didn't pursue Katie as a minor because she was dating somebody and a married man with a kid? Granny stated, 2 grown men victim blame a child victim who was removed from her predator mom's home and placed into foster care. Did a grown man admit he knew another grown man was sleeping with a child and all he did was decide he wanted to pursue her instead? He conveniently waited until she was 18 to then impregnate her and marry her. Granny stated, when's the last time Seth put together a search party? Matter of fact, I thought Dog said the search for Sebastian was coming into my area like a month and a half ago. Granny stated, the only thing I see Seth doing is searching for panels to go on to disparage Katie. On February 21st, defendant Granny's Watching hosted a YouTube live stream titled A Look Back at the Egregious Behaviors That Led to Criticism of Seth Rogers and his spokesman Tony, during which she attacked plaintiff Rogers and his media involvement, implied coordinated media manipulation, and suggested unauthorized courtroom video exists. That's interesting because that's what they're being accused of too, right? Granny's Watching attacked plaintiff Rogers and his media involvement, stating, at what point, Tony Mathis, as a national spokesman, do you step up to the plate and do your job, which is to keep the focus on Sebastian again? Defendant Granny's Watching implied coordinated media manipulation by plaintiffs, stating, so the reason Tony says that is because all day long, accounts under Seth's name and Tony's name, which they claim not to be them, hyped everybody up that they would be going on Smiley's that night. Defendant Granny's Watching further stated, why would they ever consider allowing Sebastian to live with Seth? Was Sebastian's behavior so out of control, they just didn't care? I don't think it's about not caring. The fact of the matter is Seth was asked a year prior to take Sebastian. Granny suggested unauthorized courtroom video exists, stating, bye-bye, I love the fact that they're like, I'm out of respect for the attorneys. We're not going to play their voices. Then whose voices did you play? And you know what? I'm telling you right now, there's a video of the courtroom. They better be careful. He ain't going to frame us. We got all of that everywhere. Filed this case from the beginning in bushes. All right. Then it says, defendant Granny's Watching implied plaintiff Rogers is an abuser, stating, to me, Seth is abusive in my opinion. Perhaps Sebastian. I definitely think he is. He looks just like him. Defendant Granny's Watching mocked plaintiff's legal team in court filing, stating, I know you guys saw that thing on the docket from the judge that was old. That was just putting on there that we had the hearing, but this right here I thought was so important. Defendant Granny's Watching further stated, anyways, this says over here, the plaintiffs, which include a media company and a television personality, now they're a private intelligence group, are more than capable of counteracting any false statements in the public sphere. Granny added, then they basically admit that by having Dog the Bounty Hunter and AtNight, they made their tension on Sebastian's case reach national levels and within a week made the attention tenfold what it was. And that's important to remember because when talking about a slap suit, it is to stop you from speaking against issues of public concern. Barbecue Lady hosted a TikTok live stream titled Barbecue Lady TikTok Live, in which she had discussed plaintiffs, their legal counsel, and court proceedings. During the live stream, Barbecue Lady made the following statements. She stated, we will not be showing all the documents, but we will be taking a few clips out of there so that you guys can see it. We're not making it up. Barbecue continued. Basically, Lesniak went in there and asked for a continuance. It was denied. said he needed limited discovery. It was denied. He was not allowed to enter any evidence. His little flash drive he was waving around in his little unsealed envelope. I think that whenever you guys hear the responses from the judge, it might put a better perspective as to what was going on, because she cut him off a bunch of times, and it's honestly embarrassing. I have secondhand embarrassment for Lesniak. Barbecue Lady continued, I wouldn't use Lesniak if he were paying me to represent me. That's how bad it is. She continued, this was the very first anti-SLAPP case that's been heard in Pennsylvania since it was recently put into law just last July of 2024. And basically, it prevents frivolous lawsuits from costing people tens of thousands of dollars to defend themselves just to get to the end and say it's dismissed. Defendant Barbecued continued, Nick, Hong, and Julia showed up in her fatigues, not there as a witness for the military. People were saying it was totally illegal what she did. Don't know how that would be illegal. With the anti-SLAPP, they can actually award up to 3 times the amount. So that'd be what? I don't know, $115,000 each person if they decide to make a statement. Barbecue stated, I want my name cleared. I want an effing public apology from every plaintiff, and I want the money returned to the people who donated it. I do believe that I'm entitled to punitive damages. And we read, I think, all of that last time. It's just hard to know when we're going to be reaching parts that are the same or not. So this Doe was mentioned before, and I don't know who this is going to be, but it says Doe Terry with 1 R and defendant aligned Doe Rorschach's dog, posted on X regarding the Karen Reed case, including commentary on bite mark evidence and related speculation. So this is June 18th and June 24th. On July 11th, defendant aligned Doe Rorschach's dog mocked plaintiff Valenti by questioning her professional qualifications. On July 13th, defendant aligned Doe Rorschach's dog and user the White Rabbit posted on X regarding an unidentified individual and footage related to the Sebastian Rogers case. Between September 4th and 6th, plaintiff Nick the Hat posted on X and sent a message regarding the Sebastian Rogers case, describing the seriousness of committing to the investigation. Defendant aligned Doe UA Crimson Tide responded with criticism, with Fisher and others aligned with them. On or about September 29th, SF Investigates appeared in a photograph with Chris Proudfoot, Katie Proudfoot, Cluminati, defendant aligned Doe Cletus, and defendant aligned Doe Crabtree. September 29th and October 1st, proposed defendant SF Investigates and defendant aligned Doe UA Crimson Tide posted on X regarding search operations related to Sebastian Rogers and an unrelated. All right, we'll get to that. Oh, yeah. I think I'm a couple of pages behind there. I apologize. Sorry about that. So I'm just going to take a quick look at the well, welcome in, everybody. Appreciate y'all being here. Okay, yeah, lots of names I don't recognize. Maybe this earlier time we're catching folks that we usually have to catch us on the replay, but appreciate everybody being here, of course. And I'll try to do better about staying on the pages. Case in Eastern, so that sentence was defendant aligned Doe UA Crimson Tide posted on X regarding search operations related to Sebastian Rogers and an unrelated case in Eastern Tennessee. Their activity included coordination on logistics, on the ground involvement, and offers of support. On October 5th, a trespassing incident occurred at plaintiff Hong Ji's property in Malvern, Pennsylvania. If you've not seen that video, it is interesting. It does look like something nefarious going on there. At 7:16 p.m., a white SUV truck entered the private driveway. 7:16:29, 30 seconds later, the trespasser wearing dark clothing and carrying an unknown object approached the front porch. The trespasser stepped onto the porch and looked inside the home. The trespasser lingered on the porch, appearing to surveil the residence. The white SUV truck departed the property. So all within about a minute and a half there that happened. At 10:08:48 p.m., a Pennsylvania State Police unit arrived in response to the incident. Between October 18th and October 21st, proposed defendant SF investigates posted on X about plaintiff Rogers claiming to have insider knowledge of the Sebastian Rogers case and making multiple accusatory statements regarding Seth Rogers' character, conduct, and legal standing. He also referenced restraining orders and suggested that discovery would lead to criminal charges. SF stated, I know what Sebastian experienced in that house. You believe whatever you hear. He alleged, Seth doesn't care about the law. This is about Sebastian's privacy, not Seth's obsession with Katie. SF further claimed it will 100% come out in discovery and be proven that Seth got a minor pregnant. He will most likely be charged. SF also stated he had completed and filed a non-party opposition to motion for injunctive relief and a motion to strike plaintiff's pleading. October 20th of 2024, SF Investigates expressed confidence that court filings would lead to Seth Rogers' arrest and accused Nick the Hat of using false claims to silence critics. If you are just listening, by the way, like every paragraph, it lists the exhibit number. I'm just not reading all those. But for example, that one is exhibit 68. So they're somewhere else within that 200,000 page filing. All that evidence is in there. October 21st, SF Investigates posted on X accusing plaintiffs of making excuses to avoid participating in the search for Sebastian Rogers and suggesting they lacked genuine concern. Defendant aligned Doe Crabtree responded in agreement. Between October 21st and 23rd, SF Investigates and defendant aligned associates, including Doe UA Crimson Tide, posted on X and YouTube targeting plaintiffs' legal efforts. This included references to a canceled press conference, mockery using memes and GIFs, the coordinated commentary about a scheduled rehearsal. SF also shared a screenshot of a court filings status. During the same period, proposed defendant SF Investigates posted on X alleging insider knowledge of the investigation and claiming that Sebastian returned from plaintiff Rogers' care with bruises and reported being hit. By the way, since we're talking about him a bit, I think he also filed some kind of motion trying to be removed, like withdrawing himself from the case, that he's now a neutral party or whatever. I don't know if that's been granted or not. Some of you may know, but I'm going to assume for now that he is still part of this, but he's at least attempting to have himself removed from this. SF stated Sebastian came home from Seth with bruises from being hit. I do have insider knowledge. Yeah. I'm sure we have some trolls in here. So I just see what was going on in the chat real quick before we go on. And I need to change the page anyway, since I keep forgetting to do that. Yeah. So SF stated Sebastian came home from Seth with bruises from being hit. I do have insider knowledge. Yeah, I mean, that's on October 23rd, SF Investigates posted on social media about plaintiffs Bullhorn Betty, Dog the Bounty Hunter, and Seth Rogers. He questioned their credibility and portrayed himself as an evidence-based investigator. He wrote, TBI and Sumner County Sheriff are well aware of their antics. The fact Seth will allow this to be done in his son's name is mind-boggling. Thank God that investigators like me work from evidence and not lack of intelligence. On October 30th, SF Investigates and defendant aligned Doe UA Crimson Tide discussed the AtNight lawsuit on social media, speculating that plaintiff's motion was dead on arrival. UA Crimson Tide questioned Fisher about documents signed in relation to search efforts. Fisher wrote, the AtNight lawsuit has been notably quiet lately. Their motion is effectively dead on arrival. UA Crimson asked, so just to be clear, you're standing by the document that you signed as a voluntary searcher and the confidentiality agreement. I should remember to change the page that time. On November 1st, proposed defendant SF Investigates posted on X about plaintiff Bullhorn Betty's GoFundMe campaign, accusing her of hypocrisy and claiming to have requested that GoFundMe remove the fundraiser. He stated Bullhorn Betty violates GoFundMe's terms of service by seeking donations for her own criminal defense. Sent to GoFundMe this morning. He added, I am writing to formally request the removal of the GoFundMe campaign to fund the criminal defense of Andra Griffin. On November 5th, a death threat was sent to AtNight's national tip line from a burner phone. The message referenced a $100,000 hit order on plaintiff Dog the Bounty Hunter and others, calling them the, in quotes, fakest MFs on the planet. Then another quote, there's a $100,000 hit order on Dog and his crew. They're the fakest MFs on the planet. So here they are claiming that they, okay, so this is Exhibit 76. So if you're curious about the validity of that, of the death threats, that's another one you could look up if you want to go into that filing and go find that. You would have to think that they'd be insane to file a false exhibit like that, right? So I think you almost have to just assume that occurred. If not, that'll be found out. On November 1st, proposed defendant SF Investigates posted on social media, falsely implying that plaintiff Bullhorn Betty's legal team is misleading the public into believing they have law enforcement powers. He also mentioned writing a legal letter to GoFundMe about her fundraising efforts. On November 10th, proposed defendant SF Investigates ridiculed a user for supporting plaintiff BHB, calling them dumb and a typical BHB supporter. BHB's legal team is misleading the public into believing they have law enforcement powers. I am writing a legal letter to GoFundMe regarding plaintiff BHB's fundraising efforts. You are dumb, a typical BHB supporter. On November 15th, proposed defendant SF Investigates posted on social media about Sebastian Rogers' 16th birthday, noting that he remains missing. The post included surveillance footage dated February 25th and referenced AtNight and plaintiff Dog the Bounty Hunter, implying criticism of their actions. In these statements, proposed defendant SF Investigates asserted that the court had not accepted the plaintiff's case and criticized their decision to file a motion to amend the complaint, describing it as a foolish move. And Gamgamto3 says no PI should be posting anything about a case that he or she is working on, good or bad. That's very unprofessional and wrong. I know several PIs and nothing is said until court time. I agree with that. I'll tell you, it's not something before this case, before learning of this, the social, I would never involve myself with a high profile social media PI in the future. If I ever found myself in a situation, I'd get a behind the scenes person. It's just trouble all the way around, I think. Well, thank you. All I need is Jesus Coffee and True Crime. I'm not used to doing this alone. So I appreciate the encouragement there. I just hate that I miss so much that goes on in the chat, Oh yeah. So we're almost at that machete party. If we do that, yeah, we'll do the 700 tonight. We'll do it if we get that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a disbelief. I do not believe that this protection order will be granted, though. Honestly, it makes no logic. Hong provokes and then documents the reaction as if it was unprovoked. I mean, they're going to have a chance to put up a defense, So I don't know. That I don't have a lot of predictions on what's going to happen here. It could go a lot of ways. It just depends on how it always comes down to the judge, which is why I was saying last time that if you can negotiate, do that. And before you lose all power and get in front of a judge, you get in front of a judge and there's nothing you can do. It doesn't matter what you think. But I think the problem they're going to have is how much of this happened after the initial injunction request was put in, because it actually lays out the argument that this is why we're asking for relief. It's not stopping, like these death threats and things that they've happened after, not prior. All right, so let's see. We're at. Oh, I skipped it. I didn't change the page again, did I? I'm just keeping up with changing the pages. I'm doing okay.
More animals? It was back on Minecraft.
All right.
Are you checking your phone to make sure you're not missing anything?
I have not.
Okay, you need to.
Do I?
I'm just I'm talking about like
Mama,
that thing you've got to pick up this afternoon.
Mama, wait.
Oh, yeah.
Mama, wait.
Okay, buddy, come here.
What year they make more?
I'm sorry. Let me,
Mama, what year they make more animals? What year, Mom?
Okay, I think we'll be able to keep going here. Okay, we read that. I think we're at 89. In these statements, proposed defendant SF Investigates asserted that the court had not accepted the plaintiff's case and criticized their decision to file a motion to amend the complaint, describing it as a foolish move. On November 10th, user FemGeek responded to proposed defendant SF Investigates by referencing what was described as marching band rhetoric. Defendant aligned UA Crimson Tide replied to FemGeek, extending a welcome into the group. These exchanges appear to continue a pattern of pointed commentary and coded language linked to events involving the plaintiffs, seemingly aimed at intimidating those involved in the case, including plaintiffs and potential witnesses. I'll join the marching band. I play clarinet, flute, and saxophone, etc. I don't know if you can hear my son in the background. That's what I was talking about earlier with the Minecraft thing. All right. Defendant aligned UA Crimson Tide. On his behalf, I welcome you into the band. On December 7th, a hostile and threatening message was sent to AtNight's national tip line, insulting the recipients and dismissed their investigation into Sebastian Rogers' disappearance, also insulting Dog the Bounty Hunter. You all are lying about the Sebastian Rogers case. F you and the Dog the Bounty Hunter. You're just doing this for attention on social media. Again, F you. All right. On November 17th, defendant aligned Doe UA Crimson Tide posted on X a threat against plaintiff Dog the Bounty Hunter, warning him not to enter Tennessee or risk physical harm, purportedly part of an ongoing pattern of threats and intimidation, discouraging his investigative effort related to Sebastian Rogers' disappearance. You better not take your own advice and think you can kick in any doors in Tennessee. Good way to get really hurt. Right. Between November 20th and November 22nd, various users, including defendant aligned Doe UA Crimson Tide and proposed defendant SF Investigates, engaged in X discussions involving personal attacks and dismissive comments targeting plaintiff Nick the Hat. Well, clearly you can't read, so try again. By the way, I wonder if his parole officer gave him permission to travel. You can't even come here, bro. How is Tennessee? Would you be willing to come on my show and talk about searching for Sebastian in Tennessee? You know what I think is funny? You're so oblivious to how unimportant you are. On November 23rd, 2024, defendant SF Investigates posted on X about legal counsel and plaintiff's filings and accused an opposing party of stalking and demanding updates on his medical condition. Not sure just how long this world-class attorney needs to take down such an amateur, or will he quit like Bruce Castor did? Correct. They filed such a defective pleading that a judge hasn't even been assigned. It's just a dormant, defective filing. On November 29th, JLR posted on X accusing plaintiff Rogers of monetizing his YouTube channel devoted to his missing son. JLR highlighted the membership tiers and their costs, and the post was amplified by defendant aligned Doe J for Justice podcast. Seth Rogers, father of missing 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers, has monetized his YouTube channel that's devoted to his missing son's case. He's launched 3 membership tiers, and the highest tier costs $24.99 a month. Between November 23rd and the 30th, proposed defendant SF Investigates posted on social media in response to plaintiffs and other parties. The posts included dismissing the credibility of opposing sources, posting alleged receipts, and asserting investigative superiority. This just proves how wrong you and your sources are. This is another source of embarrassment for you, and highlights why absolutely nobody will ever listen to what you have to say, because you are always wrong. My work speaks for itself. That's why I can charge the rates I do. I have found 5 times more missing persons than any other investigator or agency. On December 2nd, proposed defendant SF Investigates posted on X in response to allegations of forged legal documents, claiming it was a simple mistake and minimizing the significance of the issue. You made a simple mistake saying that I forged legal court documents, a simple mistake claiming I was going to lose my license. Now that was funny. He thought he had a scoop. Oh, I'm so sorry. I keep forgetting to change. On December 6th, 2024, SF investigates posted on X about the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers, implying ongoing independent investigation efforts. He criticized AtNight Media and Dog the Bounty Hunter, suggesting their focus on the case was misaligned. The post included surveillance footage and a timeline of events related to Sebastian Rogers' last known whereabouts. Let's see. So we're on page 33. Tomorrow marks Sebastian Rogers' 16th birthday, and heartbreakingly, he remains missing. While we are diligently investigating his case, we do not yet have answers regarding his disappearance. Within 22 seconds, Katie and Sebastian approach their vehicle, enter the car, put on their seatbelts. The man in the green hoodie enters Texas Roadhouse, and Katie and Sebastian exit their parking lot. This is what AtNight has told you is so significant. On December 6th, Nick the Hat posted on X about Sebastian Rogers' disappearance, emphasizing the tragedy of his absence on his 16th birthday. Defendant Align Doe, UA Crimson Tide, responded with antagonistic behavior, referencing a YouTube block and making a sarcastic comment about a restaurant meal. Between December 7th and December 8th, Fisher posted on X about his independent investigation into the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers, mentioning the discovery of natural cave shafts during search efforts. He also posted a direct personal attack on plaintiff Chapman, calling him a low-life, washed-up coward, and accusing him of editing surveillance footage to mislead the public. Why do you have me blocked on YouTube? I'd love to see your wisdom in the comments section. I recommend the Chili's 3 for me platter and a roomy backseat to cry in. Between December 7th and December 8th, SF posted on X about his independent investigation into the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. Discovery of natural cave shafts during search efforts. He also posted a direct... haven't I already read that? No, I guess not. He also posted a direct personal attack on plaintiff Chapman, calling him a low-life, washed-up coward and accusing him of editing surveillance footage to mislead the public. Dog, you low-life, washed-up coward, editing surveillance footage. Don't blame this family that you have a failed career and try to use a 15-year-old as a publicity tool. Editing surveillance and playing it in slow motion is an act of desperation. You are a has-been. Between December 11th and 13th, it's just stuff like that. I don't even, what is that even trying to accomplish when you're investigating? That's the kind of stuff that just, it's just, what's the point in attacking Dog the Bounty Hunter like that? You know? What do you care what Dog's doing anyway? You just do your job and find him, right? Between December 11th and the 13th, SF continued his public attacks on Dog the Bounty Hunter via posts on X and further taunted Dog by offering to pay for a mental health evaluation. You would know about felonies from murder charges since you had been convicted of that exact crime. Dog, if I paid for it, would you be willing to have a mental health professional evaluate you? I'm very serious. This is sad to see happen for the world to witness in real time. Yeah. On December 14th, defendant aligned JLR posted on X questioning allegations of CPS reports related to plaintiff Mathis, accusing him of misconduct, including inappropriate behavior towards TikTok users and prior termination from employment. Defendant aligned JLR posted, where is proof of these alleged 5 CPS reports? Besides TikTok Tony Mathis claiming it, he further stated, same Tony that's been... I thought we had Aunt D back there for a second. I guess she's gone again.
Sorry, I left my phone.
Well,
I'm back.
that's okay. I was just kidding around. Aperture Girl just asked, I want to ask, but I don't mean it as an offensive question, but is Dog credible to make these type of videos? I don't think Dog is actually making any of those videos.
Hang on, my puppy wants back in.
Either AtNight or his people, someone else is doing that, you know. But yeah, Dog doing it himself, no, he wouldn't do that. I don't believe that would be him doing that personally at all. But yeah, I mean, Dog's credible, you know. The way you can measure whether or not people are just biased or not in a way is if you look back on how people talked about Dog before he got involved. prior to his involvement, everyone in every camp was happy that Dog was getting involved. It wasn't until after he had whatever that interaction was with the Proudfoots that gave them pause, and then they started working with, Seth and his people. After that, then it became Dog is not credible. But prior, everyone was thrilled to have him involved. People were begging for it for months because he had talked about it on a podcast months earlier, and then it happened.
I mean, he's one of the biggest bounty hunters, probably the most famous bounty hunters that I've ever heard of.
Yeah, without a doubt. Let's see. So, okay, I think I'm at the top of page 35 here. Previously called out by Ellie for putting out garbage. Same Tony that exposes himself to TikTok girls. Same Tony that got fired by the father of Caleb Harris. On December 14th, JLR posted on X making allegations against plaintiff Rogers, implying he is a threat to children and women. JLR stated Seth Rogers is bad news. No child is safe around him. No female is safe around him. On the same day, defendant aligned JLR further posted, so are they thinking that BioDad had something to do with his disappearance? All three of them have always been shady to me from day one. On December 14th, JLR posted on X mocking a journalist for sharing $250,000 reward flyer related to Sebastian Rogers' disappearance, writing it was created by someone on parole for spreading misinformation and stating that law enforcement has not acknowledged the reward. Again, that's irrelevant, right? It's irrelevant. Like, you can give a reward without law enforcement acknowledging it. You don't need their approval to give a reward.
No, we could offer a reward today if we wanted to.
Yeah.
Anybody can.
It's like a false. It's like a false. I don't know, standard that you'd have to meet. Let's see. Defendant aligned Doe JLR posted on X criticizing Chapman for calling out the sheriff involved in the Sebastian Rogers case, referencing a controversial statement attributed to Sheriff Eric Craddock about preferring the term snuggle struggle over rape. Hi, Jennifer. How is this helping? They are now bashing the sheriff on this case. You support this?
I just switched it.
Okay. On December. Oh, thank you. I can't tell you how many pages I missed. Quite a few. On December 14th.
A couple people are wondering how many pages of exhibits are there?
Oh, my understanding is the entire thing is somewhere around 200,000 pages.
Wow.
Which most of that would be the exhibits. That's a lot of reading.
Oh, Appy Girl wanted to know about what his background was, like Dog, or perhaps his team. Just want to know if he is doing videos based on prior experience or he is theorizing like us.
I mean, I mean, just a bounty hunter, I suppose. He's reportedly captured 10,000 fugitives throughout his career. So those guys, they do work with law enforcement as kind of partners. So that I don't know if you ever watched the show. What's so impressive is his ability to relate to people, especially the criminal element, kind of get them on his side, get them talking, giving up information, just his instincts.
And turning themselves in. I mean, he'll even work with them sometimes and they'll end up crying and saying they're sorry. And, he just has a really good way of relating to them and making them feel not less of a person because of the crimes they've committed or what they've done. And I think that it gives him a real element to these criminals, and they actually respond well to it.
And Dog is I think 71 years old now. So
Can you have Aunt E talk for a minute and step away? I need you.
Sure.
Here, will you mute yourself and tell Aunt E what's going on?
I'll do it. You're muted. Okay, guys. And somebody said, my first trip to Hawaii, I made my parents take me past the decline bail bond so I could take a picture. Yes, that's where he did a lot of his show, and where a lot of arrests were in Hawaii. And you'd see, I watched that show all the time when my kids were little. We would sit and watch it episode after episode. We loved it. Yeah, and that was something I noticed about Dog too, is he would always pray with them and make them feel not less of a human because they had broken the law or were being caught. And he's real relatable. And I think he gave a national face to Sebastian's case, and he was bringing in maybe not skills with this big team of investigators, but more so the personal aspect of being a bounty hunter and being able to relate with law enforcement, but also the criminal element so that he could possibly find out more information. And I think he's more of a face than he is an active pursuer. I think AtNight has done most of the tracking down leads and working on that. And I think that was the purpose of them. And he's just kind of the national face for Sebastian and is out there, being an advocate for him. And Amber said, Dog was once a criminal long ago, and he learned a lot and became a bounty hunter, and he's a good man. Yes, that's exactly his background. He was a criminal, and he became religious and became a Christian and worked hard to catch fugitives. And like Mr. E said, that he's caught over 10,000 fugitives, and he has a team. He has a son that works with him, had a daughter at one time that worked with him as well. I don't know if she still does. Leland was his son, and I think he still does bounty hunting, and he still talks on and does interviews about apprehensions, things like that. Yeah, I agree, Ivy League flight nurse. I absolutely support the police. And I think the Facebook post, maybe it was taken out of incorrectly. I don't know. But that was one of the things that made it really difficult to trust at that time, and still does. But I have to think that we're at a point with this investigation that there are things happening. We just aren't privy to those things. And I think we've even maybe intentionally been misled a little bit just because they need to keep things quiet and keep things under wraps until they have what they need to pursue criminal actions against people that might be part responsible. Let's see. I do too, Amber. Amber says, I just wish he would speak a little more about Sebastian. And I do too. I know he's been working on promoting a book that he has, and he has a lot of other things besides Sebastian. He's doing all this pro bono. He's not getting any money for doing it. He's just doing it to kind of help put a face to this missing child. And so it's not something that he's, making anything from. So he does have to make money to support himself. So sometimes other things come, I think, before being out there as that advocate. Let's see. And Michelle agrees with you, flight nurse. She says, me as well, flight nurse. With everything we see, it's was and is disgusting. And it has become a circus, and it has. Lady for Justice, Dog and Beth were a great team. I loved Beth. She was my favorite on the show. I liked her role in their partnership in fighting crime. I thought that she was a really great character. I hated to see her pass away. I don't think anyone matches Dog either, Misty. Here's another comment from Scotty. Scotty says, this is a big mess brought on by Ellie botching the investigation early on by not following protocol, and it allowed these money leeches to align with possible suspects. Well, I think some of the things that's gone on with Ellie might from the outside look like maybe they've messed things up, but we aren't privy to all the information about what they've gathered and what they know. And if they're building a case, that's why we've not heard anything. It's been very quiet. And I think that's the reason it's been quiet is that they're building a case, and I don't know, that they botched anything really. I'm turning you back on, Mr. E.
Thank you.
You are unmuted.
Okay. Did I miss anything exciting?
No, we're talking about Dog and just the role that he plays. And I say he's doing most of this. This is pro bono for him, so he does have to, work on publicizing his book and making a living, as well as trying to help with the Sebastian case. So it's not like he can just spend 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, traveling around doing that. We talked about that and just how good of a show he had. And Charlene, you're right. I saw that interview with Laura Trump. Leland was on the interview with her about 3 months ago, right after Trump was taking office. That around that time period, he had done something with dogs. So I think that's great that they've got the connections that high up. Maybe he can get more done at the federal level in looking for Sebastian. Let's hope that making those connections can help.
Yeah, it always helps to know people.
It does. It does.
Okay, honey, that sounds good. Sorry.
How's Big E today?
He's been doing a lot better once he got back in school this week. Weekend was tough, but he's doing all right.
Okay, I think we're ready to.
Yeah,
move
just
on.
seeing where I was at.
I think you were at. Hang on. Were we getting ready to start this page? I just switched over.
I think so, actually.
I think so.
On December 14th, proposed defendant SF posted on X attacking Dog, AtNight, and plaintiff Rogers, claiming that the TBI and Sumner County Sheriff dismissed their efforts as illegitimate. I mean, that's just outright trying to stop people from investigating, right? I mean, if you just took that alone and said, why are they filing for this injunction? You have people actively trying to prevent Seth and his team from solving this mystery.
Right.
I mean, that's it. That's that. Even just that one little thing. That is why, because there is this effort to prevent justice or locating Sebastian. On December 15th, defendant Align JLR posted on X accusing plaintiff Rogers and his team of harassing the Sumner County Sheriff, claiming that this followed the sheriff calling out their disinformation. Between December 14th and 15th, proposed defendant SF posted on X implicating plaintiff Rogers in CPS reports, engaging in a dispute over investigative details about a vehicle's identity and dismissing criticisms from plaintiff BHB by calling her a grifter. The majority of CPS reports involve Seth, right? Several people have been tweeting at me like the one below, apparently because BHB decided to pull one of her typical capitalize on a tragedy grifts. It seems they're trying to spin this into a gotcha moment. It's not. Between December 14th and January 9th, plaintiff Jules, the dog handler, engaged in an X discussion with defendant-aligned Rorschach's dog regarding canine tracking methods. Plaintiff Valenti described distinctions between... tracking and trailing canines. Defendant aligned Rorschach's dog responded with posts disputing her statements and questioning her professional qualifications. Between December 15th and 16th, proposed defendant SF posted on X about a public challenge involving a $1 million charity donation tied to an undisclosed video, accused plaintiff Griffin of misappropriating $50,000 from a charity, and assured the public that information is being used to find Sebastian Rogers. I'll donate $1 million within 24 hours to charity if they can produce that video. BHB already screwed a charity out of $50,000 on another lie. Can she make up for it now? Challenge her. Between December 16th and 17th, proposed defendant SF posted on X regarding jurisdictional disputes in Hendersonville and allegations of misinformation about a 3 a.m. vehicle sighting, accusing Bullhorn Betty and plaintiff Brittany J. of spreading false claims as part of a grift. Between December 17th and the 18th, defendant-aligned Doe JLR posted on X criticizing plaintiff Rogers and his team for allegedly undermining search efforts for Sebastian Rogers. Between December 12th and 22nd, proposed defendant SF and defendant-aligned Doe's UA Crimson Tide and Queen Bee posted on X regarding the Sebastian Rogers investigation.
And a couple people were asking, saying Jennifer Coffindaffer was going to come on today regarding has Sebastian's case gone cold like Summers? And she, but she has postponed it till tomorrow because she gotten some breaking news on the Idaho 4 case. So, so for those that were wanting to catch that, she is going to have that tomorrow at 5. So if you're wanting to join her for that tomorrow.
Great. Yeah, well, we'll check that out.
Somebody asked me to check on what was going on. I don't see any posts though about the update on the Idaho 4 case.
We do have some great mods. I agree with you. Has it been tough for the mods today? Has there been a lot going on? I probably missed a ton of it, but
there's been some, but not too
a
bad.
little bit. Yeah. I kind of wonder about this too. War Damn Eagle says, I truly believe people are going to be charged with interfering in a criminal investigation. Yeah, we talked about this a little bit a time, maybe 2 lives back, kind of reading through the Tennessee statutes and the laws and how that goes. And I think you can make the argument that's happened. So whether or not anybody's charged, we'll see, but you might be right. So we just switched to this, didn't we? Posts included commentary on drone mapping, surveillance footage, jurisdictional claims, and legal threats involving RICO charges. On December 17th and 18th, SF claimed the city of Hendersonville was not responsible for law enforcement in the Rogers case, despite police involvement. On December 19th and 20th, SF accused the mob crew of being compromised by AtNight and Dog the Bounty Hunter, posting, "Imagine being so corrupt you could be paid off by AtNight and a bounty hunter. If you know this video so well, then you would know the timestamp is stuck at 3:11. On December 20th and 21st, SF posted about contacting attorney Bruce Castor and referenced potential RICO filings. Defendant Align Doe Queen Bee posted one of these statements. And a lot of this with these different people is just showing them kind of amplifying each other's messaging, right? Mm-hmm. And that's part of the coordination, working together. That's the allegation anyway. On December 22nd, Nick the Hat and SF exchanged posts on X. Plaintiff accused SF of blackmail and manipulation via private messages, which SF denied. Doe Queen Bee reposted Fisher's response. Between December 22nd and 26th, SF and defendant aligned Doe's Queen Bee, J for Justice podcast, and JLR posted on X targeting Seth Rogers and other plaintiffs. Their posts included allegations of grifting, legal misconduct, abandonment of search efforts, and defamatory character claims. And those are several exhibits, actually, 109 through 14. On December 22nd, SF accused the mob crew of exploiting the Sebastian Rogers case and stated it could very easily be said there are 6 reports against Seth. On December 23rd, Queen Bee reacted to her name being included in court filings and accused plaintiffs of deception. In an exchange with user Joe Kelly, she stated, SF is sick of their S and so are we. Who trolls a missing child's case? The ones you're defending do. Shaking my head. On December 24th, defendant aligned Doe JLR reposted by Doe J for Justice falsely claimed Seth Rogers fled Tennessee being sued and refused to collaborate in the search for Sebastian Rogers. On December 26th, Doe JLR claimed that Seth Rogers had returned to work as a correctional officer. Between December 27th and January 2nd, defendant SF and defendant aligned Doe's JLR, J for Justice, Spilled Tea Department, UA Crimson Tide, Queen Bee, and defendant's Barbecue Lady posted on X and other platforms targeting the plaintiffs, disputing their credibility, and disseminating false claims. And that's exhibits 115 through 122. So sometimes they're just kind of grouping these all in with tons of exhibits. I'm assuming podcasts and X posts and things like that, right?
I think that's how they've kind of condensed it too. It looks like they've got more examples grouped together.
Yeah.
And we are over 700.
We are. So we will do a machete party tonight. We appreciate that very much. And quite a few of you are still hanging with us. I appreciate you with that too. Did I finish this part?
I don't know if you started on the 126 yet.
I haven't, right. So on December 27th, defendant aligned Doe's JLR and J for Justice posted on X about Robin Rogers, mother of plaintiff Seth Rogers, alleging she withdrew public support following claims about polygraph results involving Katie and Chris Proudfoot. That same day, defendant aligned Doe, Spilled Tea Department, posted on X disputing plaintiff Jules the dog handler, CPT statements regarding her participation in search efforts for Sebastian Rogers and cited conflicting information from the TBI. On December 28th, an email from Jim Fair to a parole officer falsely accused Nick the Hat and Mathis of fraudulent business practices and identity theft, citing fabricated police reports and linking to defamatory Reddit content. You know, even like that, even just that little allegation, you know, you've got being accused of identity theft and fraudulent business practices. They cite a fabricated police report and then linking to defamatory, you know.
I mean, there's just constant. It's like it was constant menacing.
Right. Assuming they can identify, well, I don't know if they have to identify or not, but they may or may not know who this Jim Fair character is. On December 29th, 2024, proposed defendant SF and defendant aligned Doe UA Crimson Tide made false statements on X regarding AtNight Private Intelligence's investigative efforts engaged in personal attacks. Also on the 29th, Barbecue Lady posted on X mocking his legal proceedings and dismissed the investigation into the disappearance of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. On the 30th, proposed defendant SF posted on X stating that attorney Bruce Castor had zero involvement in the instant matter. On December 31st, proposed defendant SF posted on X announcing his intent to attend a court hearing in Sumner County concerning plaintiff Bullhorn Betty's alleged restraining order violations. On January 2nd, defendant aligned Doe Queen Bee reposted proposed defendant SF investigates statement regarding the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers Amber Alert and promoted defamatory content targeting Nick the Hat. Between January 3rd and the 5th, proposed defendant SF investigates and defendant aligned Doe's UA Crimson Tide, J for Justice, Cheesy Wheezy posted on X regarding the Sebastian Rogers case and plaintiff's involvement. On January 3rd and 4th, defendant aligned Doe Crimson Tide posted in response to Nick the Hat, referencing his financial status and reposting commentary about New Orleans police. On January 4th, proposed defendant SF Investigates posted a video on X discussing frustrations with the Sebastian Rogers case and possible travel changes. Defendant aligned Doe UA Crimson Tide replied with a weather-related comment. That same day, proposed defendant SF accused Mathis, Bullhorn Betty, Justin Clutch Them Pearls of fabricating claims about the Proudfoot selling their home and manipulating a Redfin screenshot. The post was reposted by defendant aligned Doe J for Justice podcast. Between January 4th and 5th, UA Crimson Tide responded to the same claims, and proposed defendant SF Investigates reiterated fraud accusations and stated that plaintiffs Seth Rogers had refused to cooperate, implying concealment. Barbecue Lady posted on X questioning the authenticity of messages in plaintiff G's declaration, suggesting they might belong to plaintiff Chapman or another party. And then the quote is, Hong Ji added these as his own text when he signed his declaration in the injunction as his own messages. So, whose messages are they? Dogs or Hong's? On January 5th, defendant aligned UA Crimson Tide engaged in multiple conversations on X concerning alleged misinformation, investigative credibility, and legal issues involving individuals associated with the Sebastian Rogers case. Defendant aligned UA Crimson Tide expressed doubt regarding the interpretation of video evidence and referenced court involvement and parole status of efforts. Proposed defendant SF Investigates posted on X about a search and rescue canine in a construction area connected to the Sebastian Rogers case and shared a news report regarding a deceased woman matching a missing person's description. Defendant aligned Doe J for Justice podcast reposted both entries. On January 6th, proposed defendant SF Investigates posted on X about the Proudfoot security cameras and claimed insider knowledge based on a witness interview concerning Sebastian Rogers' behavior. Between January 6th and 7th, SF and defendant UA Crimson Tide posted on X regarding the Lore Lodge disputing its credibility following Fisher's participation in an interview. Proposed defendant SF and Crimson Tide challenged the Lore Lodge's claims, including commentary about surveillance, and responded negatively after the interview failed to generate a favorable public support. On January 7th, proposed defendant SF Investigates in Lore Lodge posted on X about a potential demonetized discussion and a fundraiser for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Proposed defendant SF posted on X asserting his role in locating Sebastian Rogers and discrediting Seth Rogers by referring to him as Mr. Fiction Storyteller Plagiarist. That was to Seth?
Yeah. Not
Um,
sure how he was a plagiarist.
I don't know. Just barbecue lady posted on X engaging in legal posturing, mocking accusations, and making personal attacks while discussing anti-SLAPP laws and defamation. And then a quote from her: "Thank gosh there is a very highly skilled, reputable lawyer retained. I've never ever said I was going to strike it rich. I simply repeated what the anti-SLAPP law could potentially grant anyone in any of the other 30 states that have the law. Do I think I'm entitled to my lawyer fees and punitive damages? Abso-effing-lutely. At least I have integrity. At least I don't live in my mom's basement. At least I never made a fake press badge, in my opinion. At least my friends aren't homophobic. At least I haven't been in prison." Between the 7th and 8th of January, SF posted on X accusing Seth Rogers of criminal sexual misconduct and referencing prior records without providing evidence. Between the 7th and 9th of January, Barbecue Lady posted on X engaging in antagonistic interactions with multiple individuals, including questions about a taser and financial accusations directed at plaintiff Hongji. On January 9th, proposed defendant SF posted on X accusing plaintiffs Seth Rogers, Tony Mathis, Nick the Hat, Hong, and AtNight Media of exploiting the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. Whew. Man. It's a lot.
We had a
I agree with this. Ivy League flight nurses. I'm just dumbfounded that the defendant's attorneys have not advised them to stop speaking on the case and stop going live in front of thousands of people to mock and defame all those involved. That is mind blowing to me too. I don't get that. I mean, there's been like no, if anything, it seems like more since it was filed, right?
it's like it's intensified.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Auntie?
We had a new member I was going to say hello to.
Sure.
It was we had, I don't know, did you get Tug on Heartstrings, the super chat?
No, I don't think so.
That was Lisa Chapman, daughter of dog bounty hunter Duane Chapman, co-founded the platform Lost Never Forgotten to help find missing and trafficking victims, especially children. I remember baby Lisa. That's what he always called her, baby Lisa.
Yeah.
Thank you for your super chat. Yes, I watched I watched baby Lisa.
I didn't know that though. I didn't know about the
I did not either.
I'll look into that.
And then we had, I don't know if you saw Mystery Sky became a new member, and then also Little Miss Sharon. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's interesting. Lost Never Forgotten. I had not heard that.
For missing and trafficking victims.
I mean,
children.
I would guess they are using their resources to help with this. I would imagine.
I hope so.
Since there's a connection between Lisa and dog, you would think that he's probably placed a phone call there. Let's see. So we are at I think we're at 150. Am I right?
Okay, let me go to the next page. Yep, we just finished that page.
Everything good?
Yeah, everything's fine. You keeping an eye on your phone?
I am.
Okay, good. Because you'll have to make some stuff happen here.
I might.
You may have to wrap it. I hate to say it, but you're not going to be able to get through all
There's no way. I won't be able to make it because I'll have to run.
Yeah.
We'll yeah, it's not possible tonight, I don't think. We'll just see how much we can get through. On January 9th, the Laura Lodge and defendant-aligned Queen Bee engaged in a discussion on X regarding a panel appearance. The Laura Lodge clarified its statements while defendant-aligned Doe, Queen Bee, responded by suggesting a double standard in the interpretation of the remarks. On January 10th, Hongji posted on X alleging that proposed defendant SF was panicking in relation to the Sebastian Rogers case. Proposed SF and defendant-aligned Doe, Crimson Tide, responded by referencing Plaintiff G's business address and prior posts. On January 10th, Plaintiff Hongji posted on X questioning the absence of Mama Bowersox and the search for Sebastian Rogers. Defendant-aligned Doe, UA Crimson Tide, responded by challenging Plaintiff G to show his own involvement in the search efforts. On January 10th, Proposed defendant SF investigates posted on X denying claims by plaintiff Hong and AtNight, stating that law enforcement refuses to engage with them. Proposed defendant SF also asserted that plaintiff Seth Rogers had not taken a Tennessee Bureau of Investigation polygraph and announced an upcoming discussion on the Laura Lodge YouTube channel regarding the Sebastian Rogers case. Also on January 10th, Barbecue Lady posted on X regarding flyer distribution efforts related to the Sebastian Rogers case, denying allegations and referencing prior distribution efforts to Terry Lynn, Chris Proudfoot, and defendant Aline Doe Crabtree. Her posts included derogatory remarks. On the January 11th, Queen Bee posted on X making defamatory accusations against plaintiff Hong Ji, including references to stalking and inflammatory character claims. On January 11th, proposed defendant SF investigates posted on X disputing claims of active CPS reports involving Katie and Chris Proudfoot. He further asserted that plaintiff Seth Rogers should face investigation and falsely claimed Sebastian Rogers was his client. On January 11th, 2025, Barbecue Lady posted on X making accusations against plaintiff Hong Ji, referencing financial and business activities and including speculative and derogatory commentary. Between January 12th and January 15th, multiple users posted on X questioning evidence handling in the Sebastian Rogers case. The post raised concerns about discrepancies in the last seen date, potential tampering, and the role of law enforcement and independent searchers. On January 12th, 2025, SF Investigates posted on X accusing the mob crew of spreading misinformation and defending the publication of certain evidence as necessary to support the search for Sebastian Rogers. On January 12th, Barbecue Lady posted on X making defamatory statements against plaintiff Hong Ji and accusing him of spreading false information. On January 13th, UA Crimson Tide, Crabtree, White Boy Radio, and Cluminati posted on X engaging in a coordinated pattern of defamatory and harassing content directed at the plaintiffs. On January 13th, Queen Bee posted an edited video on X targeting plaintiff Hong Ji using racially charged mockery and cyberbullying tactics. We're at a point now where we're basically just at a timeline of the events and all the people, right? Thank you, Kelsey. So nice of you. I don't understand why people complain about monetized channels. It's the creator's job. We all like freebies. I want free groceries. If the creator advertises a charity for donations and they keep the money, that's different.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll never hear me complain about people making money, no matter what their opinions are myself. But I don't know. Especially the ad revenue, the way I see it, they're going to run commercials regardless.
Mm-hmm.
The creator should, if they're going to allow the creators to take a part of that, I mean,
It's not much.
you're
Well, I
helping.
mean, it's unethical though to say you're advertising for charity donations and you keep the money or you use it for nefarious reasons. I mean, that's completely different, of course.
Right. He's talking about like the ad revenue
Oh.
that YouTube gives, because
I know,
YouTube's running those ads regardless if someone's monetized or not.
Right. But she was saying if the creator advertises a charity for donations and they keep the money, that's different.
Yeah. I was referring to the beginning of her statement there, but yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you're skimming off the top of donations, that again is going to be, if anybody actually, if a prosecutor actually looks into any of this, that's going to be of interest to them.
Mm-hmm.
More than a lot of these things, I think. That's my thinking
And thank you
anyway.
for your super chat, Kelsey.
And she also said, sorry, it takes like 20 minutes for me to text. She's been a member for 7 months.
Thank you
you're-
for being a member for 7 months. We appreciate you.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
I didn't realize we've been around that long.
Yeah.
So no, somebody was it Real Me Too? Somebody did 8 months or 9 months, and I was like, "What? We've had a channel that long?
Yeah.
I didn't know we had a monetized channel that long."
Right.
So
What months did we start? April?
May.
Yeah, I
March?
think it was May.
May is okay.
I think we decided we were going to start doing it in April.
We did at the beach, and that was what, in May or June?
That was in June.
Yeah.
It was early June.
Yeah.
Yeah, we met
It's
at
always
the
early
beach,
June.
and
Yeah. I remember doing that one.
that was funny.
Yeah, it was. We didn't know what we were doing.
We had all of our tans and Hawaiian shirts and all that stuff.
Yeah,
on.
because we didn't pack any clothes to do streaming.
And all kind of packed in our little place, trying to find a place to film and all that, Anybody? And Kelsey, thank you for being a member 7 months. Did I miss anybody else like that?
I don't
Before we
think
go
so.
on?
I think we're good.
Oh, Real Me Too says she's been a member since the beginning, 9 months.
Yeah, that's
Oh, okay.
probably the record for anybody. Because it'd be a month after we started, I would think. Ooh, I got to take this call. If you want to go ahead for a minute?
We can just read chat for a
And
minute.
Lisa B always says Sebastian's been missing for a year. Y'all started right after the case became big, in my opinion. That was really it was a little bit after it started, because that's when the daily conversations started taking place, and we had lots to think about and lots to discuss, and they live right there in the area, so it was very near
Well, we
and dear.
started talking about it every single day
Yes.
from the moment it happened. But we didn't. It's a lot. I don't even know how we got here, honestly. When I think about it, it's funny. Aw, Kelsey, that's sweet. That's so sweet. I'm glad I finally understand how to pronounce her name right.
Is it Kelsey?
Yes.
Okay,
I
that's
think
all
so.
right. I Kelsey.
Now you've got me wondering if that's true.
I think it's the threes or E's.
Well, that was quick. Do we have to wrap it up? Maybe.
We will.
Okay.
We're okay at the moment.
Okay. Well, I'll have to start dinner soon too.
I think. Am I still muted?
No.
No.
Do you want to be muted and tell me something? Yes. I can be muted. Hold on.
Perfectly Imperfect says, Mr. E, you need to be a narrator for bedtime stories. I've been taking care of sick kid hasn't fell asleep. Now I'll have to rewatch.
That's cute. She's so pretty.
Yeah, he
So
does have a
pretty.
very calming voice, so I could see that.
I'm kind of going for that vibe a little bit when I read. I'm trying to be
Calm, peaceful.
yeah.
Do you need to tell me something off
Probably.
mic? Okay, hold on. Auntie, talk to chat for just a second.
Sure. Let's see. We are going to have our machete party in just a little bit, because we did get over 700 likes. We're at 741, which is great. Thank you all so much. Let's see. Ms. Machete, I never know because I'm not a parent myself. Oh, you're talking about the autism. Yes, I saw you put something about that. Let's see. What else? Let's see. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to find some strands to comment on. But again, we got Michelle's a new member. Thank you, Michelle, for being a member with us. Welcome to the Crime Dogs.
Okay, sorry. We were trying to work it out. He will have to leave, unfortunately, in a little bit. So,
yeah, someone said, I find it disgusting that some run banners across their screens the whole time they speak on Sebastian, but it's my opinion, not a popular one, but it's gross to me. It's always hard to know where those lines are, where taste and all that stuff, I don't know.
Somebody asked if I live close to the East. No, not really.
No.
I'm about a 10-hour drive.
She's coming to visit.
Yes, I am. I'm coming Sunday, so we're going to be staying for a little bit and visiting.
Oh, man, you ruined the surprise.
Why?
I was going to surprise somebody in chat that's going to be around.
Oh, well, you already told them.
Oh, that's true.
That's your phone.
I already said hi to Michelle, and thank you, Michelle.
I'm not answering that.
I think I can do about 10 more minutes, and then unfortunately, I have to go take care of some things tonight. So we're
uh-oh. Surprise! Surprise!
Yay!
Real Me Too.
We could do we have tomorrow morning free?
Yeah, we could get if Auntie's up for it.
Tomorrow I can do it tomorrow.
I didn't know if you had to pack and stuff.
I do, but I got a lot of it done, but I still have some more to do.
Let's do 10 more minutes here if that's okay. And then
we need to run our videos. But Aunt E or Mrs. E and I can do that. Because we do have over 700. We're almost at 750 now.
Awesome.
We do. Yeah.
And thank you for 5 months, War Damn Eagle. She says, love you guys. And I made her a mod earlier. She didn't realize it. I was out and I was like, we need help. So I just said, well, I hope you don't mind, War
You've
Eagle.
been drafted.
Me
Been
too.
drafted to the
Me
mod.
too, girl. Me too. I'm
Well, thank you
excited.
for. Thank you
Oh,
for,
and she gifted 5 memberships. Look at this, sweetheart.
wow.
Thank you so
Thank you, War
much.
Eagle. Appreciate
We're
that.
blessed by you. So
War
One for
Eagle's,
every month she's been a member.
oh, that is so sweet. And Real Me Too says I'm excited because you guys can talk Murdoch. So
Yes.
very,
It
I've actually been
seemed-
reading a Murdaugh book.
yeah.
Oh, did you get the book?
I got a book and been reading it. Yes.
Okay.
She's not sure what she thinks of it yet.
Yeah. I'll give you my
Uh,
feedback when I get there. I'll bring it with me.
War Eagle, it seems like you're more active on X nowadays than YouTube. Is that the best place to follow you now? Is X? Just out of curiosity. That's where I see you do stuff the most, more than
Mhm.
YouTube even. So I just didn't know if there was another platform you're using more, but that seems like you're pretty active there.
That's a good point, Joan.
Joan the Homesteader says, I don't worry about monetization. Internet and StreamYard, electricity, computers, mics, etc. aren't free. It helps cover the cost of streaming. Sure.
Yeah, and it also takes time. You know, we have other
Oh.
jobs. It takes some of our time.
Oh, I see. So War Eagle says,
Thanks to Jay.
I didn't mean, man, the chat moves so fast sometimes. I was trying to click this part. Yes, because I have a strike that I am waiting to expire here.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
okay. I didn't realize that was a situation. But
I forgot to say also, if you were gifted a membership from War Eagle, please, tell her thank you. That was very kind, and we appreciate you.
well, for now, definitely follow War Eagle on X, and they're great.
Do you
Actually,
want to get back
Let's do
into?
5 minutes, and then we'll do the songs, and then
Okay.
I'll go. So that's
Okay.
okay. I'll try to find a nice stopping spot.
Aw. Guys, well, Casey
Thank
gave
you,
us a
Casey.
$10 super chat and says love and prayers to the east. Thank you so much, and we love those orange hearts. I will say too, we've got a big MRI coming up on April 22nd, and we would really appreciate your prayers for our son. We need those results to be clear. So if you are praying, good vibe, anything type of person, if you could think
Yes.
of middle E and send prayers to him, we would really appreciate it.
Yes, and we'll definitely be asking for that here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I just it's on my mind and my
I know.
heart, and
I know.
especially the last few days. So
Yeah.
I wanted to say it while it was on, while I had it.
Sure. So I think I'm at 163. We'll just go a little bit further, then we'll do the machete party.
Mhm.
And
Machete, yeah.
on January 13th, Barbecue Lady posted on X dismissing allegations and amplifying misleading narratives about the plaintiffs through defamatory commentary. Defendant SF Investigates posted on X referencing legal action taken against the plaintiffs and their counsel. He stated that a Rule 102.6.1 notice of demand had been served on plaintiffs. I don't remember that. I don't know what that is. So on January 14th, social media posts and emails discussed attorney-client privilege, legal strategy, and public commentary involving attorney Bruce Castor and Nick the Hat. On January 14th, social media posts accused Bullhorn Betty of dishonesty and referenced deleted comments related to a RICO lawsuit. On the 14th, Barbecue Lady posted messages on X that included cryptic phrases. On January 15th, social media posts suggested the unauthorized searching of private property and made references to law enforcement, including a claim that the real law was not involved. Barbecue Lady posted on X regarding legal disputes, the importance of documentation, and made references to alleged defamation. On January 15th, email exchanges included complaints regarding unwanted messages directed at Bruce Castor, referencing continued contact attempts. Also on the 15th, additional email correspondence discussed concerns about harassment and the unauthorized sharing of legal communications involving attorney Bruce Castor. January 16th, social media posts included content aimed at the plaintiffs involving alleged harassment, misinformation, and attempts to influence public perception. On January 16th, proposed defendant SF Investigates posted on X about a missing persons case, claiming involvement in locating an individual. Defendant aligned Doe Queen Bee, who engaged with the post, later that day proposed defendant SF Investigates defendant Barbecue Lady posted on X making statements about the plaintiff suggesting Seth Rogers had harmed his son's reputation. So I think that's okay. We might make a pause there, and I'll.
Okay, I'm gonna make a note. We are ready to do 174.
So before we head out though, any thoughts just kind of on the new filing, the approval, any of that?
No, I'm just glad to see some movement to hopefully get this some resolution that maybe this will stop. Maybe we can go back to the focus of finding Sebastian and it just being about that.
That part of it would be great.
But I also think that this will set precedents for future cases because, if this harassment and stuff continues or it's allowed to continue, I think it makes YouTube almost a free for all, and social media in general, a free for all to do whatever you want. And I think this is a great example of where there needs to be some boundaries, and hopefully those will be put in place.
I think eventually this will stop. Somebody will make it stop eventually. It's just a matter of if it's a case like this or some other time in the future, because this situation, you can't, it really impairs justice and the ability for law enforcement to operate.
Yeah. It's impeded the case.
Yeah. So it may take maybe this case is high profile enough to get people's attention and
or legislation,
precedent, all that.
That would be great.
Right.
Well,
Deanna's right. YouTube always has had a TOS, but they're not great about enforcing it.
Yeah.
So
all you have to do is listen to some of the creators in lots of different genres, even and just what they're allowed to do or say. There's no decorum. There's no decorum.
All right. So what would you like me to play?
Well, let's end with Machete, but we haven't done any of our videos.
Yes.
Okay, well, this is you want to pick, Auntie? Or do you want me to do it?
Let's start out with super chat. We had a lot of super chats. Let's start out with
this is all for all our super chats. Thank you guys.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for the super chat. 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 Thank you for the super chat.
That's a fun song.
Yes, it's a good one.
I feel like I need to make it shorter though.
And thank you to all of you too.
And then we had some super stickers. We had some new dogs.
Let's go to the super stickers.
Thank you for your super sticker. 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 Thank you for your super sticker.
I like that one too.
They're all great. And we did have a lot of new members, so let's welcome to the
Quite
dog
a few,
pound.
yeah.
A lot.
Welcome to the dog pound. Your front dog now, members only. Welcome to the dog pound. Your front dog now, members only. Welcome to the pound, members only. Bow wow 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 wow. Doo 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 doo.
I love that.
That bark always cracks me up.
Yes.
But I guess we're ready for Machete.
And are we coming back tomorrow? Is it the plan?
I'm not exactly sure what time. We'll have to work it out with Aunt E offline. But if you want to do, I don't see why we can't. I don't think we have anything work-wise that we have to do tomorrow.
Okay, so we'll make sure we give everybody like 2 minutes notice, like we did today. So keep that notification on because you just don't.
You just never know.
Don't know. It's like a fire drill.
Well, it's just like this. We would have stayed on longer if we didn't have to deal with this for work. So,
Unfortunately, I had a thing come up. So,
Okay,
Anyway.
well, let's go to our machete party. Thank you for all the likes. We have over 750. So here's your machete party.
She also said she was going to bring a machete.
Karate.
Machete.
Karate.
Machete.
Karate.
Machete.
Karate.
Awesome. Can we do it
You know,
three-
you have to do it 3 times.
Yes. Here we go.
She also said she was going to bring a machete.
Karate.
Machete.
Karate.
Machete.
Karate.
Machete.
Karate.
She also said she was going to bring a machete.
Karate.
Machete.
Karate.
Machete.
Karate.
Machete.
Karate.
That's
Perfect. Perfect.
yeah. The
Gotta love
bouncing
music.
hair just it never.
It never disappoints.
No, it doesn't. I did make other ones, but they're not as nice. So, but we won't play those ever. So,
Right. Right. That was kind of in fun.
that one, yeah, that one's in fun. If I could find another person saying parte or something, I couldn't find anything that was exactly right, like karate. So,
Well, thank you to all of our mods for helping keep the peace and keeping things going. They were awesome. Everybody kept complimenting you guys throughout the whole stream. So it looked like you guys were doing great. So we appreciate you and all the new members, all the super chats, and just all the folks just hanging with us and reading this. I know it's a lot, but it's something I think we're all kind of fascinated with. Actually, just curious. I just think it's interesting. The whole thing is interesting, no matter what side of it you're on or how you feel about it. I don't know how this is going to play out. So I'll be curious to see just what happens here. Just as a matter of, it's just so unique and unusual, the whole thing. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll get a date here this week, next week. I don't know how that'll happen, but
well, I've got sources telling me that that the hearing, it's that it will that the hearing will happen. So
yeah,
that it will most definitely happen.
right. It's just a matter of when.
It's just a matter of when.
Right.
So that's kind of interesting too, because I would love to be a fly on the wall for that as well. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Hello, Tony.
Hello, Tony Mathis.
Hey, Tony.
Hey, there was Tony Fire was here earlier.
He was.
He was. You missed it.
Yeah, and you two weren't here at the same time. So,
Don't do that. Don't do that. Do not
Mm.
do that.
I'm just
Oh, and
messing.
hi, Yvette. Welcome. And
Hello,
Grandma
Grandma
Chachi.
Chachi. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of our normal friends, our usual friends are in here. Yeah. No, don't start that.
I was just kidding.
Don't start that because that'll get clipped out.
It'll get clipped out.
You know, and Bear's been with us a long time too.
Yeah, you gotta laugh, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do. We choose laughter. Michelle Lee, hi there. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm just prolonging. We actually do have something we have to do.
I gotta run. I'm on a time crunch now. So
okay. Well,
But-
thank you guys so much. We appreciate you being here. We know that you can be anywhere in the world, and you chose to be with us this afternoon, and we appreciate that.
great. Thank you so much, everybody. We appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow, I think.
Tomorrow, hopefully.
We remember you. We remember you. Ooh. We're still here for you. We'll shine a light for you. We're holding on to hope for you. We remember you. We remember you. Ooh. We're still here for you. We'll shine our light for you. We're holding on to hope for you. We're holding on to hope for you. Ooh. We remember you. We remember you. We